it's so bad. I'm so hungover. It's so terrible. Well, that's your fucking fault for getting hammered, and now you live with those consequences. Like, you're the idiot that goes, oh, I'm going to do this stupid fucking goal where until I beat this game, I'm not going to achieve climax. And now you're suffering for that. So that's your fault, buddy.
But I feel that when I do beat it, it's going to be the best climax ever. But it'll be very quick. Or...
I bet you it won't. I bet you it'll be thoroughly unimpressive. I bet you it'll be quick and you'll be done. You'll be like, fuck, that's it. That's all
I didn't even get my pants off.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be terrible. It'll be boring. I bet you it sucks. Enjoy that. Enjoy that knowledge. You reset your file. Just don't know that it's still going to be terrible.
I think it would be fine. I'm on a downer
What's
now.
up,
Now
Sephiroth?
I'm thinking about now it's the reality sinks in. Like, if I do, it's terrible.
I'm just talking to your chat, dude.
Oh, hey, chat. Oh, we've lost him again.
Just,
oh,
hey, look, why don't you make this thing behind me, instead of two weirdos looking at me in a party, why don't you make it your Twitch chat? Because I'm the only one engaging there. So I'll just run your chat. You guys can have a chat. You guys can talk about each other's, like, spunk factories. And I'll talk to your Twitch chat.
Okay.
You guys can sit there and talk about the contents of your juice bag. And I'll just handle your Twitch chat, okay?
Juice bag. Nice.
All right.
That's a good one.
Oh, look, there you go. There's my mate Vixen, her love hearts behind me there. Oh, this is freaking great. Chat boss.
Why are you not doing this in preview editor, Paz? Why don't people have to watch you, like, shittily edit? Whatever.
Why are you so uptight about, like, just this casual podcast though, dude? Like, Piers, we're never going to get an Academy Award if you keep doing stuff outside of preview editor, goddammit. No one is ever going to fall podcast if you don't do stuff secretly behind the scenes. No one cares.
Have we lost Matt, or?
I think he's gone. He can't handle your slightly shambolic podcast. I love it.
Oh.
I'm 100% behind this. Dude, I say do all the overlay managing you want, like, while you're on stream.
It's fine. Did we really lose Matt? Oh, we actually...
I think I broke up the podcast. Matt's quit. Who gives a shit, dude? Fuck it, put me in his window. Just clone my video, clone my image, and put my image in Maddie's bloody window up there. Just put me in here twice, dude. We don't need him. Or just put chat up there, man.
It still says
put
he's
chat
in
there. Who cares? Give chat their own window. Give chat Maddie's window. Alright, let's get some fucking dib rips out for Maddie, eh? He's dead now. Guys. Oh, the rip's gone. That was one of my favourite dibbler emotes, but it doesn't matter.
He's muted.
Some cries.
Yeah, you can't. I hung up on him too. Oh shit, I've lost the mic. Fuck, I'm supposed to do a podcast.
It's going really well. Whatever you just did is
yeah, I know,
causing my entire... Like, I've got a whole scenario going on here, dude. I've got flashing screens. I can barely, like, chat is in the strobe right now. Is that normal?
Yeah, that's
Whatever's...
about it. Hey,
Why is this happening? I feel like this is something you've done.
I think it is something I've done.
I feel like you shouldn't have this power over my system. I feel like you shouldn't be able to cause this to happen. If I turn off my... Okay. I turned off my video feed and it stopped flashing at me. It's literally like a... It's like a rave. You should see it, Sephiroth. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. It's like my whole frickin' setup is like a disco. Here, I'm back now. Okay, the flashing has stopped. And I'm back. What's up, chat? How we doing? I'm just going to hang out with you guys. Pez, what are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out what Maddie's doing.
I told you not to worry about Maddie. Leave Maddie out of it. Maddie's done, okay?
Oh,
Maddie was complaining too much. We don't need more white guys whining about shit on Twitch. We need less of that. He's gone. He's out of here.
I like having Maddie on here.
No, he's actually kicked right out of Twitch for being a whiny little bitch. Actually, he's gone. They kicked him out of there. Yeah.
Don't say
I'm just getting the message from... Is that Twitch?
Now I've got to
Is
fix the
that Twitch there
camera
now?
up. Fuck!
It's flashing again. My camera's flashing at me again. Pierce.
What the fuck's going on?
About this. You can do this, Piz. I believe in you.
I am incredibly trying. Wait, put yourself there. Wait, who are you going to be?
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to get your camera right. What the fuck?
Every time you do that second
Dude,
camera,
what I missed? Did something break? What happened?
Stop throwing that! Fucking go play Bosch.
Oh, what's that? Timestamp.
Oh, fuck.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 54
It's
of
broken.
the Game Bro podcast. My name is Pez, and I'm fucking annoyed right now, but I am glad Matty's back. For fuck's sake.
I was literally looking in, I'm watching you move things around, and I'm like, when can I answer to make sure the most is fucked up? And I'm like, this is it right here.
Like,
And
there's
it's
just shit everywhere. Best episode ever. Fuck. What, for the audio listeners? Fuck the audio listeners. They're not going to see that shit. They should have been here. Steve, okay, sorry. Episode 54, we're joined by Steve Wrigley, the comedian. Sup, dude? What's going on?
So I was talking to a mate of mine the other day about the lack of media training among a lot of young.
a little what? Huh?
You cut out there, sorry.
The lack of media training among lots of younger streamers today.
Yes.
And I just don't think it's been evident.
You keep
How
out.
wrong I was.
Oh,
Because what you just did was the most high quality broadcast I've ever seen.
I fixed
Beautiful.
it. I didn't fix it. Matty just came back, and then I got happy. God, my nose is red. Okay. I'm supposed to do a podcast, god damn it. We're in season 2. You'd think I would have got the hang of this by now, but it takes one person not to cooperate, and everything goes to shit.
To be fair, it was really funny.
As long as everybody enjoyed it. Fuck's sake, we've lost him again.
Here's why don't you try? Look, let's start it all from the beginning, okay?
If you used preview editor,
it's
you'd
the
never
Pez
lose
show.
him. You know that, right?
The Pez Show, it's the Pez Show. Pez is on the radio. No, wait, it's fucking Twitch. It's Pez. And Matty, who's a bit of a fuckwit, it's Pez.
Matty,
Pez
don't
is
call
the
him a
best.
fuckwit.
And Matty, who's a bit of a dick, and Pez all the time. And
Stop it!
Pez.
But it's really funny.
But the audio
And it's
listeners,
really funny, too.
Okay. My volume's very low.
We have a
Sorry.
question, guys. Hey, guys, it's me, your producer here, Steve. I have a question from chat. I found I have a whisper where I won a prize during a charity stream. Do I respond with details of shipping approximately 2 months after they sent me the whisper? Interesting question from the princess of McCawsome Castle. That's to you, Piers.
I probably wouldn't. Oh, it's Pez, never mind.
It's for me. Is it for me?
Piers, I'm now thinking you might not have been listening, so
No,
we'll go
I'm
to
trying
Matty.
think. Well, with 2 months after it, yeah, because then that way you keep in contact with people. Because that's 2 months can be a long time without contact with people, and they really want to talk to you, and you really want to give them something, and they really want something from you. So yeah, I think that's all done by a whisper. What are we talking about?
Was it your
we're
husband?
supposed to be talking about you. I don't give a fuck about some charity people. that
Well, I
won a
just want to
prize.
know, was it her husband, and was it her husband trying to, give away
Why am I
a
saying
piece of
why?
charity stuff to his own family in a stream? That's just speculating a little bit there.
Is that better,
I've
everybody?
got another question for you guys from chat. Piers, how big is it? And are the rumors true?
How big? What? No,
That's
it's
from
very,
John and
it's not big at all.
Wollongong. It's from John and Wollongong, yeah?
It's the normal size. It does all right. Look, we're here to talk about you first. You're breaking the fourth. It's not even. There's no walls. It's not even a fourth wall. Look, I don't hate charity.
I can't
all right?
believe
I do
you
a
hate,
lot of charity.
You do.
Okay.
I can't believe you hate charity. I can't believe it. It's really actually really upsetting to me, dude. There are a lot of kids out there that need a lot of help, and here you are.
I've raised a lot of money for charity. I'm not falling into this hole. We're here to talk about you and your lack of charity.
Okay,
Hey, Steve, how you going? Welcome to the podcast.
thanks, bro.
Yeah. So, what? Fuck everything's just going to shit. Why do I even get up in the morning? All right. Okay. You're done. You're done mucking around. Well
I haven't
done.
said anything. I'm just sitting here quietly.
I'm also
Letting you do your
talking
thing,
to
dude.
the chat. Right. So,
Good.
for those watching the live stream on twitch.tv/YouGamerPodcast every Wednesday at PM, I welcome you and sorry for all that kerfuffle. But we are joined by Steve Wrigley, the comedian. It's so funny to give me shit all the fucking last half an hour, and Maddie that decided to just play on my head. But episode 54. So look, that's how fucked up I am. I've said the intro 3 fucking times already. What have we all been playing? Can someone talk about video games, please? Maddie, what have you been playing? No, Steve, you can wait.
Guest first.
No,
guest
he
first.
can wait.
No, guest first.
He can wait.
No, guest first.
And I
Steve.
wanted to say I've been timed out by your chat for spamming salt emotes.
Yeah, our Nightbot's pretty harsh.
Yeah, it's rude.
Steve, what have you been playing? You've been playing a...
No, I've been timed out, so I can't talk. I've been playing lately. I'm timed out.
All right.
Maddie.
Shit, what the fuck have I been playing? I've been playing when the new GTA stuff came out recently. What was it? The Gunrunners stuff?
Yeah.
So to jump in and do a little bit of that. That's fucking fun. It's ridiculous. They have this one car that's like just like the best, most ridiculous thing ever. It has like a minigun on the top of it and then rockets out the front and then a mortar out the back. And it's kind of just the greatest thing ever. So just rolling around to that thing, seeing what kind of like chaos you can get up to. That's good.
Actually, on that, have you picked up the flying bike?
Fuck yes. That thing is amazing. Plus you can mount rockets to it. So it's a flying bike that also has missiles, which is just fucking double thumbs up. Top notch.
Man, you were playing with that the other day, Steve. With a boost.
Yeah, it's really more just like a jump cycle, though, isn't it? I mean, you'd sold me on this thing being like a flying bike. Like wings were going to come out the side. I was going to be able to glide around.
I mean, wings do come out the side.
Yeah, they do. We figured that out.
No.
Yeah, there's a button that makes the wings come out the side.
You and I have very different definitions of what constitutes a wing, mate. Okay? Sit up there in your ivory tower there, thinking tiny little stubby things are wings. They're not wings, mate.
Oh,
those are like
I know
little
what you mean. Yeah, because it's like a glide.
A little sort of like a little flippity flappity tails. Wings, dude. When you told me that bike turned into a plane, I thought it was like out the front of the bike, 2 massively long wings came out. 2 jet boosters came off the back, and I could like fly my bike around over Los Santos like I was flying a plane, firing jets. But it's not that. It's just like someone turned the gravity off, and you do like a little sort of shmeep, and then you just kind of float through the air.
Yeah, you can fly through the
air.
That's
fantastic.
That's fucking awesome. You even did like the whole swooping thing. It's brilliant.
Yeah, but that's not what you sold me. If you had told me that it was
didn't
like
know it either, okay? I looked at that, okay, I just did the whole Pez thing. I looked at him and go, that's clearly a bike that flies. So I was like, let's buy that. That looks dope. Okay, sorry, it was on me.
I mean, it is a
To be honest, there's not much I can really complain about because the money that both of us used to buy our flying bikes, we got 100% free from
Jesus.
Some hacker guy. Jesus, that was the most amazing thing. Being down in that little ravine. And I've never, because that was the first guy I ever played GTA Online with, I think. That night was the first time I'd really gone in with a crew and played.
Yeah.
When I was playing with you and Dibs. And I'm like, Piers, there's a guy down here called Jesus and I can't kill him. And you go, oh yeah, that guy will be hacking the system. And I was like, what? What's this? Hacking the system? That's something that can be even done. I wasn't aware, I didn't know someone could hack it. You're like, yeah, it's hacking. And I'm like, yeah, dude, he's dropping bags of cash everywhere. And boy, did you come running down that hill
as soon as I heard that, I was like, yeah, no, I got to stop fucking around. Like, I got to get there quick. I got about 2 million, like, to start off with.
I got 8.
And, yeah. But he did it in a river, so they were going around the rapids. So,
he was sending it downstream to the people.
Yeah.
But then another hacker came in later on into that game, and he was not quite so fun. He was like dousing us in steam and setting us on fire. Putting us in cages. That was also a bit weird. But then he also gave us heaps of cash. So there was a weird sort of salt with the sweet there kind of buzz going on with that guy.
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
That was definitely a highlight for me, though.
Oh, it was fucking... Yeah, your first introduction to GTA is awesome. So we'll come back to GTA anyway. Sorry, Matty, what were we saying?
No, the only other thing I've been playing is a little bit of Elder Scrolls Online, dicking about in that, and then I decided to play Armor 3 today for some unknown reason. I don't know why. I really wanted to play Armor 3, so I was running around there shooting zombies, being fucking. Like it's been so long since I played that. I forgot what all the buttons do because every button on your keyboard does something in that game, and I just can't remember it all. But yeah, that's it.
So you're doing like the DayZ mod in it, are you?
Yeah, it's called like something else now, Exile, I think it's called, like Exile Pod. I don't know. But yeah, essentially, it's like DayZ but in Armor 3, which means it runs slightly better and it looks slightly better than DayZ mod does. So I'm on board with it. Still miserable at it though. Still miserable at it. I miss DayZ a lot. I had so many stupid, ridiculous memories with DayZ. I just kind of want to do it again.
Dude, I'll take you up on that. I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
I got about
100%.
700 hours in that fucking game. I'm keen for that.
I don't think I had quite as many.
So you're not timed out anymore, Steve? What have you been playing?
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm right here, mate.
What have you been playing, bud?
Actually, before I get to that, can we get to the critical issue of the fact that I look like I've lost weight? The critical scenario there, Sherry's, is that I look that way, but it's the webcam. I'm a real life 5, but I'm a streaming 10. Like, when the webcam's on, mate, it's just such a handsome angle for me. But outside of traditional webcam hours, I'm just like a horror show, like a shit fight. It's disgusting. So
like I said, it doesn't help when you got the microphone covering 50% of your face and then the hat covering 25% of your face. You got.
It's very, very early in the morning here. Okay, it's 6:23 a.m. I was up late last night streaming. I got a fresh cup of coffee in my hand, but maybe I do like to just kind of shroud myself in mystery a little bit. Maybe I'm feeling like being the. Who is it? Who's the guest? They came into the room and began fondling me. The next thing you know,
I can't do
I
that.
turn around and there's just 4 or 5 guardians standing there. And they all start touching me. And I tell them I don't want it. But they went ahead anyway and did it. You're going to blur my face out? I don't want anyone to see me.
I don't have the blur feature, I'm afraid. I probably do, but I don't know how to do it.
I do look like victim who doesn't want to be on camera right now.
Well,
I kind of like it.
even though we don't like it, we still have to sort out the audio plebs because they can't see your face. I'll put it up on the website.
What do you mean the audio plebs can't see my face? The audio people wouldn't be able to see my face no matter what I was doing.
Yeah. Just what have you been playing? You've clearly playing some fucking video games. What have you been fucking playing?
I've been playing Fallout 4, man.
Okay, tell me about that. What's Fallout 4?
Where have you been? What have you been doing? You seriously know nothing about
I
Fallout
know
4?
what Fallout 4 is.
What do you know about Fallout 4?
I know that you can make like a hideous plastic-looking person and then lose your kid Sean and then find him later just to kill him. That's as far as I got. As soon as I found him, he goes, "I'm your son," and then I killed him.
That's actually that is the best explanation of Fallout I think I've ever heard. You can make a plastic person run around, lose your kid Sean, find him again, and then just kill him, I guess. That is 100. You've nailed it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I tried to build a house, build a basketball court. Then I'm like, oh fuck, I've lost my son. Better go to Diamond City. 100 hours later, just followed the story. Then found Sean. I'm like, oh you fuck. Then I killed him. So. And I actually have not finished the game. I got to where something hill, Pennant Hill or something like that. Where not Pennant Hill,
Bunker Hill.
Yeah, where there's like free
Pennant
factions
Hill.
fighting.
What the fuck is Pennant Hill?
I don't know. Sorry, spoilers for those. That was a spoiler, so forget what you all just heard there.
Oh no! Look, it's been 2.5 years almost now. It's been a long time, 2 years at least with that game.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
No, Fid. Sorry, we're outside of spoiler territory, dude.
Yeah, we're well outside spoiler.
Your son turns out to be a dick and you kill him. It's the tragic tale of Fallout 4. I like that you were like, okay, it's the apocalypse. I'm out of the vault. I've got to build myself a house and a basketball court, and then I've got to rescue my kid. Like that was your list of priorities there in the apocalypse. Build a house, make a basketball court, then rescue the kid. Imagine bringing the kid home and your kid's like, oh, where'd you get the basketball court from? Oh, yeah, just before I went to rescue you, you were in that.
I created I created a settlement. I saved a bunch of people, could build a basketball court. We stole a bunch of people's clothes, and then we decided to come save you. So that awesome underground bunker that you lived in, forget about that. Come live in your shitty fucking half-burned house and your basketball court. Yeah.
I'm still mad that more spoilers for people who are getting angry about it. More spoilers. I'm still mad that your son, who's now old, just randomly in the middle, just like dies of unknown disease. Team up with you, like he tells you all these evil plans. You're like, fuck yeah, son, let's conquer the world. Let's do this shit. Fist bump, go about being like evil fucking geniuses. He's like, nah, I'm gonna cock it instead. Like even that's like I can't just like rule the world with my son. I don't know. It's depressing. I didn't like it. I wanted to be evil with my son.
Well, look, I mean, you can't have everything, can you? You know,
you gotta look. You've always got
your.
You can't have a happy.
You can't have a happy son.
Relationship.
Yeah.
You can't have a happy son. Not allowed to have one.
You cherish those moments you do have him for before you're like when I killed him, I went straight power. Like killing people with a power glove in that game, nothing better than killing someone with a power glove. Just watching him just get sprayed all over the wall.
I like petting the dog.
Oh, dog meat.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big fan of dog meat. The Dogman's sex.
I think that broke the game for me is where dog meat just doesn't. He'll just run into a field of mines and then just fuck everything up for you.
Yeah, it's the best bit. He's an unstoppable killing machine. He can soak up 2 or 3 nukes and still bite your face off. He's tough, mate. He grew up in the wasteland.
I really need to go back and play it, to be honest. I really do.
No, I don't think you deserve Fallout 4, to be honest, Pez.
Actually, I do. What I do deserve is it in VR, because I need some fucking decent VR games, and that's not the click-to-move shit like we thought it was going to be. It's actually just normal.
Do you have a VR headset?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Back up. So it's not going to be click-to-move.
It's not click-to-move. Yeah, they can confirm. You can switch to click-to-move if you get dizzy. Some people go to click-to-move, so it's not dizzy for them, but it is just normal move around.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, my God. That's my whole life over, dude. Just walking around Fallout land, sneaking. I'm just going to sneak everywhere with my VR headset on. No one's ever going to see me ever again. Like, you're not going to see my eyes anymore. I'm going to be like this all the time. Well, why isn't Wrigley taking that VR headset off? Why? I mean, like, because I'm in Fallout 4 land, guys. It's legit everywhere I look. It's in my peripheral vision. It's in my front vision. It's in my side vision. It's in my up and down vision. There's Red Rocket Truck Stop right there. It's never looked so beautiful.
Well, speaking of...
Oh, my God.
That, the VR, and never taking off, well, since I got the Vive, I was like, let's check out porn in VR. It's really good. Really good. That's all I'll say about that. I recommend everybody check it out when they get a chance. Really good. Anyway, so what I've been playing, I've played nothing else but Boshi. If you don't know what that is, it's called a game called I Want to Be the Boshi.
I don't. Explain it to me, please.
So it is a game created by the fucking devil. It has to be. It's one of those really ridiculous hard platformers where you literally got to land on pixels while shit's chasing you, and it's very difficult. It's just you got to. I didn't cheat on it. Okay, everyone's saying in the chat. So I had the Cunt Force on last week, and Wet for Jesus explained how he did a challenge where he didn't want to come until he finished the game, where it took him over 7 months, which is kind of scary to think about that. But, yeah, he finished the whole game without actually ejaculating. So I said, that can't be too hard. I'll do that. I'm 8 days into it, and I got caught cheating. Not by me, and I looked up a guide, wasn't allowed to do that, and I had to go back to the start. So I lost 4 days of progress. I'm back to where I was. And I am actually, surprisingly enough, I am really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. It's actually a fun game. Ridiculous.
Are you enjoying the no wagging off?
No, 100% not. I have to confirm that. I am not enjoying that at all. That sucks.
Why are you doing that?
Because I thought it was a good idea, but then I said it on the podcast, and now I got to do it. I mean, it's easy. I could probably just go do one.
Piers, I want to give you a little bit of life advice, buddy.
Okay, yeah, I'm open for it.
Every idea that you hear is not a good idea worth trying. Like, don't just hear an idea and go, oh, that's a different idea. That's not an idea I've thought of before. I'll try it. Don't just try it. Think about it for a sec. Let all the little thoughts disseminate in your mind there. Do I want to not whack off for like 7 months? And then off like 7 hours is too long. Well, still whack off.
It's good. It's a good idea. It's character building. It's character building.
Is it?
It teaches you. It literally, like, you actually, for a while there, after like 6 hours the other day, you actually start to question everything, which seems weird and stupid, but then you're like, it really makes you focused. Like, it's just, video games don't push you like they used to. Like, it's really hard to find a game that really pushes you. It's hard, fucking hard, and that feeling of accomplishment when you beat it.
Look at your language right now. Push hard. You're so backed up, and you need to whack off so bad that it's seeping out of your very language.
Maybe, but once I, like, this game makes me push through, but it's just this feeling of accomplishment. And when I beat the first level Hello Kitty, which is this fucking cat beat off. Beating off. Yeah, when I beat off.
When you beat the first level, you're thinking about it's.
It was.
If I was you, I would run into another room, just very quickly sort yourself out, get that stuff out of your dick, and get back to work. There's stuff in there that needs to come out. That's all. That's the last thing I'm going to say about it. It's men's health. Get that stuff out of your dick, guys.
Nah.
It's the only time I'm going to say it.
I'm gonna do it.
One-time PSA.
I'm gonna keep doing it. All right. So, this game is playing. All right. So, Steve, I'm surprised we got here this soon, but we'd like to talk about you. We've invited you on the show to talk about you.
Oh, g'day, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, good. How you going? So
good.
So you're a comedian of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
You've been around for quite a while. When did you decide to go, I'm pretty funny, let's be a comedian?
I can't. I think I was in a church play when I was like real young, and I was supposed to be being like a sheep or something, and I accidentally fell over and everyone laughed, and so I kept doing it, and I ruined the play. And it was a Christmas time one. It was one of the really good Jesus ones that everyone in the congregation loved so much. And I was a little silly, and I got some laughs. And then I was like, you know what? I reckon I can make a job out of this. And it took a long time, but I did in the end.
Did you play? Who played Jesus? Was it this a role where you had to, like, you tried all year and to become Jesus in the play?
No, I didn't. And again, become. Your language is just, it's like laced with it. It's just intense, dude. Just, I'm saying, just back off a little bit.
It's bogan Australian. I apologise.
Yeah, no, it's all right. You just need to whack off. That's all. No, it was just one of those kind of, your casual church play buzz. But I didn't even audition to be a sheep. Every kid who was in the church, you got drafted into the play. It wasn't an optional situation. It's like, oh, you're a kid, you're in the church, you're drafted, get in the play. You're a sheep, you're a freaking part of the nativity scene. You're Jesus. They always pick the hottest guy in church to be Jesus. The hot football jock or whatever usually got that role.
Well, he wouldn't fall over a sheep.
Who? Jesus wouldn't?
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't fall. No, obviously not. He's athletic. I fell over by accident, but it was the reaction I got to accidentally falling over
All right.
that made me realize I wanted to be a comedian and make people laugh for a living.
All right. So when did you get your first big gig?
This is it.
Is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
This is it right here. This is the dude. What do you mean you're sorry? This is the big time for me.
It is.
This is huge.
You are so fucking hard to interview. I tell you what, I don't know. Like, I'm actually thinking there was a church play. Did you actually trip over a sheep? No. What? I've completely lost everything.
That's the truth. That's how. That's
okay.
when. I mean, I've been asked that question before. Like, what made me decide to get into stand-up? So I'm kind of got an answer in the can for that one.
Oh, okay.
Do you have but is it the same answer every time, or do you pick it are you making up a story every time to how you came up with, how you came to comedy?
No, well, I mean, over the years of being interviewed, I've been asked how I got into stand-up, and in the first few years, I answered the question a different way every time, but that's because each time I was thinking further and further back into my life.
Okay.
That's actually a good point.
Oh, I was 13 years old and I did an assignment at school and I made the crowd laugh. Well, that's a true story. But then the next time I did an interview, I thought a little bit further back. Eventually, one day someone's going to ask me that question. I'm going to be like, I was in the womb. I tickled my mum's uterine line.
She had a giggle.
Heard her laugh on the outside, and I was hooked.
Be like, that's the move. That's immediately what I needed to do. 100%.
Where you're like, wow, this is an easy crowd.
What else?
I was born. I came straight out of my mum, and I grabbed a microphone and was like, "Is this thing on? Hi, guys."
What are the other standard comedian questions? We should run through them while we're here. Then, if we've done what's your
who's your biggest inspiration?
Who's your biggest comedic influence?
Which Robin Williams and Eddie Izzard.
How was your first gig?
Horrendous.
Right. When did you really feel like you could make this as your career?
Would have been about. These are all really good, by the way.
Yeah, these are good.
These are the stock standard ones. Yeah.
And I was doing a big show and got some big laughs there. Yep, was good.
Okay, great. What inspiration would you give to aspiring comics?
Oh yeah, that's dude. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, come on, keep going.
Just keep getting up there. Only do it if you love it. Don't do it for what you want to get out of it. Do it for what you're going to put into it. Do it because it's fun.
What do you see? What do you have coming up for yourself in the future? Well, kind of like
Oh yeah, I got a gig at the Pop and Tickle down in Manuera, and we'll be on there with a few other comics, and they've got $5 pints going on down there as well. So and they tell me the pie warm is going to be fully stocked. So get down there for that show. That's this Friday.
And then, do you have a ultimate career projection? Are you trying to make it to Hollywood? Are you trying to do specials on Netflix? Like, where do you really see yourself in 10 years as a comic?
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Look, just being happy and just still really enjoying the grind, staying humble, staying real, staying true to my craft. I don't have any visions for where comedy is going to take me. I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm happy to be on the journey, and really looking forward to this gig this coming Friday.
Yeah, awesome. All right, everyone, that was Steve from New Zealand. Thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks,
and here we go.
That is literally every comedy interview I've ever had.
Fuck yeah, dude. May as well get them all done at once.
That's it.
Well, I used up all the good masturbation questions in the first 10 minutes because I was panicking. So, what else was supposed to go?
I actually thought that maybe you were taking care of yourself just quietly while me and Maddie were talking there.
I don't think he has the dexterity to do it on the slide.
No.
I don't think he's got dexterity in it. I think we'd notice. If he tried to be subtle, he'd be like, yeah, and you just watch he'd bump the desk accidentally. There'd be these big, vigorous strokes. I don't think he'd really know.
No, I closed my eyes the whole time. It'd be weird.
The one thing I've heard a bunch of comedians say before, which I want to ask briefly, is they say they have I heard people refer to it, it's almost like the brain of a sociopath, where the only thing that comes into your brain, put together a sequence of words that is going to make people laugh, and that's all that matters. Everything else is irrelevant. It's how how true the story is, or if it really happened, if it didn't really happen. It's this is a true story, but none of that matters as long as these series of words makes the people laugh. Does that make sense? Is that the crux of
that's your job though. Your job is to people are expecting that. So Yeah, it's literally whatever you can do to get that laugh. And so, like, you tell a story, and obviously, like, the first time you tell it, it gets a bit of a laugh. But then the more you get into it and the more you do it, the more you realize, like, and a good comedian is someone who goes, all right, like, you never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yes.
And a good comic, I reckon, is someone who goes, okay, what are exactly the right lies that I have to throw in here right now to, like, make this more interesting? I guess it is kind of sociopathic because it's all about that manipulation. Like, you're going, all right, I want to steer you guys and force you as a group to do. I mean, you're almost like a cult leader, really, you know?
Do you do the same thing, like, outside of, like, doing a show? Is it the same? Is your brain the same thing? Like, if you're just, like, talking to your wife, it's like, I'm trying to put together the words that will make you laugh. Like, those are the important things. It's like, I should probably, this is one of those times I should probably use the truth, isn't it? Like, it's almost like a secondary thought behind making people laugh.
Yeah, I think I've talked to my wife about this before, and it's like this because you've got two gears as a comedian. You've got your, like, normal gear. I'm being a comedian now gear. And so if I am in a scenario where, like, I might be in trouble for neglecting some household duties or whatever, I'll try to make my wife laugh, but she can see now when I've flicked into, like, I'm going to try and be funny mode. Like, when we first met, obviously, I could use it to, like, be charming and make her laugh and make her fall in love with me. But now, like, as soon as I kind of get, tell a joke now, as soon as I, like, shift into drive on that, she just looks at me like, don't fucking do it.
How long have you been with your how long have you known your wife, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, over a decade, dude. We first met in Wellington.
I'm just wondering when being funny stops being effective with my girlfriend, and when she's gonna look at me and be like, "Don't fucking do it." Like, oh, fuck. But we've only known each other 2 years. I got shitloads of time left. Sick.
Well, I've got the disadvantage as well of the fact that, like, my wife has not only just, like, had to deal with me, and she's had to go and watch me do it for, like, an hour on stage uninterrupted. Like, so for her, it wore thin really, really quickly. And I could still get laughs out of her family. And I know that, you know.
and you just watch her roll her eyes like, yeah. And her family's like dying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it the jokes that make her laugh, the ones that really stick to you?
What's that? The ones that make her laugh really stick with me?
Yeah.
I haven't made her laugh for years, dude. I don't even know what her laugh sounds like anymore.
Another thing I've always wanted to ask a comic is, what do you prefer putting together? Like a 1 hour set, or like the type 5 or the type 10 that people do at like a comedy club when they're going to just do like your spot? Do you prefer to do like a spot or like the hour, like a show?
Well, first of all, it's nice to find out what the 11th question is on the list of 10 questions that comedians always get asked.
That's the 11th question. That's the 11th.
No, I mean that in a good way. I mean, that's a question I've never been asked, and it's actually a really, really cool one. Because just thinking about that when you're saying that. Well, like, yeah, there's like doing a quick 5 is awful. 5 minutes of stand-up is horrible because you've barely said hello. And when you do, like, you know, you guys have there's the comedy festival there. There's the Melbourne International one, have a big televised gala, right?
Yeah, the galas, yeah.
Those sets are the fucking worst because you've basically got 4 minutes and it's on television and you have no time to kind of, you know, it's essentially like go out there, belt out your number one hits. You don't even have time to listen to the audience and try and feel them out. You've just got to kind of power through it and get off stage and hope everything comes out okay. 15 minutes is 15 to 20 is like that ideal time for a club set. And it's really nice because you just get to go out and hit it solidly for 15 to 20 minutes. You've got like that first 5 minutes, you can actually sort of get into it with the crowd. You can kind of relax and you can, because I always say stand-up is more about listening than it is about talking. It's about being attentive to the audience that's in front of you and kind of going with their ebb and flow. Do you know what I mean? And so you hear what they're laughing at, you hear what they're picking up on, and you kind of start to like move more in that direction. And I enjoy that. And to do that for 20 minutes is real nice because, you know, you can build it really well and you can kind of get to a nice finish.
You get the vibe of the crowd like fairly well within like 20 minutes or so. Yeah.
That's right. But then an hour is a different beast. Like, it's nice in a different way. It's obviously it can be pretty draining because you're trying to do what you do in that 20-minute set 3 times over, where you kind of bring the audience up to a really awesome point, and then, you know, you want to have 3 acts and you want to kind of have rise and fall, and then have a big finish that kind of tops everything else that you've done. But it's really, really dope, especially if you're in the right comedy room. Like some of my favorite places are rooms that hold about 100, 120 people, like nice and cozy. And when you're in a room like that and you have a whole hour to yourself, it's a real treat for a comic, because you can just take so much more time to to manipulate that audience and to learn about them. You know, it really, like I say, it's like a conversation. And then by the time you're in the final 20 minutes of that full hour, in that 40 minutes, I've gotten to know the audience so well that if I've done my job right, I know exactly how to manipulate them in that last 20 minutes to make sure they have the best time possible. So, it's basically like going on a real quick date with a girl and being amazing and obviously impressing the hell out of her in a short date, or the full evening sit down.
Yeah,
where you get to know each other really well.
Careless Whisper plays in the background, and you get the whole you get the whole mood to it.
I do. Towards the end of my 1 hour shows, I always hear that.
Makes everything 90 times. That saxophone comes in, you're like, oh yeah, there it is. Everything gets unzipped, and it's great. No, it's interesting hearing you say that, because a lot of people, you see a stand-up comedian, they go, oh, that's I think I'm funny. Like, I can do that. I can get up and tell the jokes. But the way you describe putting together, especially an hour, you describe it like putting together like a book or like a movie where it has acts and it has peaks and valleys and it crescendos, and you're building to this piece. It's an awful thing.
One of the biggest challenges I think stand-up comedians face, and it's the one thing that person doesn't get, like that guy who goes, "Oh, I'm always funny with my mates," I always get a few laughs around my mates, is that when people pay attention to you in a conversation, right? Like when you and your mates are all sitting around talking, one of the one thing that's keeping your friends attentive to the conversation more than whatever it is you're talking about is their next opportunity to speak, right? One of the main things that keeps people engaged in a conversation is their ability to participate in that conversation and their next opportunity to do that. With stand-up comedy, the audience has agreed to surrender that right? So the number one thing that keeps a person involved in a conversation is now off the table, their ability to say something next. The people who don't take that off the table when they go to a stand-up show, if it's a good comedian, they usually learn pretty quickly that they should take it off the table. It's not a two-way discussion. Getting involved is a bad idea. The comedian has a microphone. They'll always win. But they've surrendered that right. They've surrendered that right to participate. And so you have to engage a person in a completely different way from you would in a conversation, because, like I say, they know they can't interject. They know so that they're not as attentive as they would be otherwise. So if you're not prepared, especially if you're going to be doing that for an entire hour, if you're not prepared to, and you don't know how to constantly twist and manipulate an audience to kind of keep them engaged and keep them on the hook, then you're not going to be getting any laughs after about 2 to 3 minutes, because the audience is going to start tuning out.
I love it when you speak about being like a two-way conversation, and hecklers are always a different beast. But one of my favorites is I watched a stand-up special recently. It was Jimmy Carr's, and I love Jimmy Carr for a bunch of reasons. One, because his whole set is one-liners, which hurts my brain as to how someone comes up with a 1.5 hour set that are all just one-liners and somehow fits them all together. But he had this segment where he gave them 20 minutes. He's like, all right. He's like, if you want to heckle, now's the time. He's like, let's. And he opened up this open for, and it was a massacre. You could tell, especially when you prepare yourself to give them time. It wasn't fair. It was like watching children play against play basketball with LeBron James. It's cruel. It didn't seem right.
Well, see, stand-up, I think as well, when it comes to heckles and stuff, the more you do it, the more of a sort of a back catalogue you build of kind of ways of dealing with people. Yeah. And so much of stand-up derives on that, I've always said to people when they go, oh, do you think I'd be good at doing stand-up? And I go, well, look, have you ever, told a story to a group of your friends, and then they've laughed, and then you've told that same story to a different group of friends, and they laughed more, and then you told it to a different group of friends, and they laughed more. And if they say no, I go, well, that's okay, Piers, don't worry about it. But if they...
I'll tell you a story. I have stories.
But if you do that, you've got the essential mechanic of doing stand-up comedy, which is that you instinctively when you tell a story to a group of people, you instinctively listen to the response that you get at certain points of that story, and then each time you tell it, you're instinctively refining it. And then when you get to the 10th person, you've refined it to a point where it's, but you're just doing that in front of a crowd. But when it comes to dealing with hecklers, you utilize a sort of similar ability, I guess, where you've like taken care of so many hecklers over your career that when someone comes at you from a crowd, you go, right, like, I have 2 or 3 different heckler responses that I can kind of mash together and throw at this guy in the office. So it's almost like you just have like a bag of ammunition. Some guys you don't even need to dip into that bag. You get some hecklers who are just so...
It's easy,
so perfect that you just go, right, well, this is, all I've got to do is basically just talk to this guy. Most hecklers that I found, particularly in Australia and New Zealand, the easiest way to deal with them is to just give them enough rope to hang themselves, because they're usually so drunk that they have no real idea just how stupid they look. So you can actually just kind of
line. Yep.
That's right. Like, I usually use it to give myself a bit of a break. I'm like, I swear I don't have to do anything for 2 minutes. This idiot's gonna hang himself for me.
All right, sorry. That was the 10 questions of comedy I didn't ask. What is your heckler story? What is your
yeah.
Sorry, you gotta do that. What is your best heckler story? You gotta do like the E microphone as well.
Yeah. Heckler story. Oh my god, you got
Yeah, what is your best heckler story? How did you deal with them?
Do you ever get nervous? That's the other one. Do you ever get nervous? Do you ever get nervous before you get up there?
There's your answer. It's like, nah, I'm hammered. Like, I'm I don't feel anything. I'm numb from the neck down. It's fucking great.
Yeah. But also it's like, it's one of those things where at a certain level you go, it's just such a dumb... Like, if I ever hear an interview with someone like interviewing Eddie Izzard and they go, do you still get nervous before you perform? Like, I can almost hear this, like, pause where he tries really hard not to be a dick and go, what do you fucking think, dude? Like, no. Like, the real asshole response
this month, like, that's pretty down pat at this point. Like,
yeah.
I think I'm good at it. I think, maybe.
Yeah.
In there.
That's the thing, because what you get nervous about is you're nervous about whether it's going to go well or not. And, when you're a professional comedian, that shouldn't be... Like, a lot of... one question I also get asked is, like, when do you know you're a pro comedian? And the answer to that, I reckon, is actually, it's pretty straightforward. It's like when you know you're not going to fuck it up. Like, when you know you're going to go out there and do your job. Because that's when you know you're a professional surgeon, when you know you're not going to get the person killed, right? Like, no one says to a surgeon, like, hey, before you go in, do you still get really nervous? Like, do your hands still shake and stuff,
They probably do. Like, I've heard stories about it, especially with surgeons, that, like, some of them, like, dope themselves up to, like, they're like on all kinds of shit to keep their hands, like, especially the guys that have to do brain surgery for, like, hours and hours and hours and hours. Apparently they're, like, on some shit, so they're just, like, rock steady for, like, 10 hours of brain surgery. I don't know, I would be nervous. Fuck. But I'm not a brain surgeon. That's why I'd be nervous.
Thank God for that, eh?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. It wouldn't have been a long career if I was a brain surgeon. It'd be the first time I accidentally just dug the scalpel the whole way in and be like, fuck. Oh, shit.
I have no interest in being a surgeon of any kind. There's just stuff about the human body I don't want to ever see up close and personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't even watch, like, the fucking, like, the surgeon. The shows? The shows where they're like, this person's getting a fucking full... The craziest one is when people get, like, their knee repaired. It's vicious. I watched it once. This guy was, like, just hammering this, like a rod into this guy's leg. And they just had it, and they're just like, gah, gah. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it looks like they're killing them.
Maddie, will you do me a favor though? Just don't say hammering rod around Pez.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I nearly ended this stream right now. I was like, there's so many signs. No, what I hate about these fucking shows, even like the nip tuck shows, fucking like, this woman's got one boob longer than the other. She wants to get surgery. Yeah, cool. I don't need it around the time I'm eating fucking dinner because my wife loves watching those fucking shows and I don't get the fucking TV. And it's just so disgusting. Like, I go sit in the other room alone with nothing on, just eating dinner alone, just hearing some woman complain about how her eyebrows are heaps heavy, and they go, oh, well, let's rip half your face off then, and then she's sitting on the bench with no face, and I'm trying to eat me bangers and mash.
It's not...
Fucking hate those
It's
shows.
not dinner food, eh? I mean, it's not dinner food. It's not dinner television. It's not dinner time TV.
It's not TV at all. It shouldn't be. People that watch that are just.
It shouldn't be. It's like those people who want to watch someone get like a cyst squeezed on YouTube. My sister-in-law loves watching that shit.
My wife, same person.
Oh,
My wife's a
fuck!
fucking nutcase.
Oh, Christ. Oh.
Like watching extrusions in that, eh? It's awful.
No. I don't even see that shit.
Like when
No.
my wife, like when I come home from after a week, she'll go, "Oh, let me check your back," because she loves popping pimples. Like she's, "Oh, you got none?" I'm like, "Yeah, because I fucking clean myself." She gets shitty when I'm clean.
Kira's that with me.
It's weird. It's weird. And then she eats it. No.
Oh, too far, Piers.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're in love, though. I reckon when you're in a relationship where you're at that level where you are allowed to comb over your partner's back for things to like squeeze and poke at. You've moved out of the blue lighting, sexy saxophone music stage
there
of
is
the
no Bruce
relationship.
Willis.
Romance is over there. So it's not
Yeah.
romance. That's when it's a partnership. Like,
That's when it's literally a bromance with your girlfriend.
yeah, kinda.
When can you like? Well, I don't do this, but I've heard couples say they go, "Yeah, like I'll be in the shower and she just comes in and goes to the toilet." That's not right.
Yeah, that's
not right.
That's never okay. That's never okay.
I am actually okay with that. I don't give a fuck.
Well, it
Doing a poo.
depends on what level you're using the
I don't
toilet.
give a-
Like,
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I suppose. Kira has never sat next to me and taken a dump. That's happened
there
zero
you go.
times.
That's good.
See, I've
Yeah.
been with my lovely wife 11 years, and
Because I'm like, because if she did that, I'm like, don't waste it and just do it on my chest. And I'd lie down and I'd just let her have at it. But don't waste it.
I suppose
That
the
would
first
be-
time
I'd
it happens, you want to put it in make it
so
at home.
upset. Yeah, no, it's wasteful. Steve,
I have my son's first dump. Actually sealed.
Oh,
Yeah.
like Tupperware.
We laminated it.
You laminated it? How do you do that?
What?
Holy
Because
fuck!
my father-in-law had a laminator, and it was a tiny little dump, and so we just put it between two pieces of plastic and just ran it through the machine.
That's amazing.
Yeah, forever preserved, mate.
Yeah.
Imagine that in
like
his
a little
21st.
like a little square
Yes,
keychain, or
21st. Fuck yes, that's the best. You have to tell him it's something else though. Like when you were born, we went out to the woods and we found this like preserved piece of a meteorite, and we laminated it. Like you have to just call it anything else.
you have when you like hang it from like your keychain. Do you know how like, they get those little this little cute?
Me with a vial of blood.
Oh.
The poor kid.
The one other comic question I wanted to ask Steve is, how do you feel about apologizing for jokes? Because that always really upsets me. Like I hate
How do I feel
you
about
cut
what?
out there, sorry, Matt.
when comedians apologize for jokes. Because that always really upsets me. I don't like it.
Oh, I think there's. I think. Okay. Honestly, I was talking to someone about this the other day. I think there's too much apologizing going on in general. I think apologies are. People seem to be under this kind of illusion now with apologies that if you make a mistake, you just apologize for it and then it's okay. But then what people seem to learn from that is not like don't do it again. What they seem to learn is there's no real consequences. I just apologize, and so they just keep fucking up, and then keep apologizing afterwards. You know, it's like you got that friend who's always late, and every time they're late, they're like, "I'm sorry, I'm late," and everyone goes, "Oh well, that's okay." Well, it doesn't mean that they then show up 15 minutes early. Next time they show up 15 minutes more fucking late, to the point where they're like an hour late, but you guys have let them off the hook so many times. What we need to start doing with that mate is they need to come and they go, "Oh, sorry guys, I'm 15 minutes late," and we're like, "Cool, we accept your apology. We realise you're sorry you're 15 minutes late.
Do it again.
Now you're going to show us how sorry you are by getting down on the floor and taking this 1 minute long beatdown, right? Like some serious physical punishment."
Or just by the round or something, like,
No, not by, like that too. They have to do that as well. But first it's like on the ground.
Good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Serious physical punishment.
So they walk over with a beer tray, put him down, and then you just hit him with a beer tray.
Yeah, we take the beers
Yeah,
off the tray, and then we
yeah,
just
take
wrap
the-
the tray
oh,
around it.
yeah, absolutely. I gotta take them off first.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be
Not sa-
stupid.
Not
Yeah.
savages.
Or fiscal punishment. Do you know what I mean? Like, it should be like, look, you've wasted our time. Like, if your friend shows up 15 minutes late, he has to give everyone $5. He still gets to say sorry, and we accept his apology. But his apology has now come in the form of $5 notes. It hasn't come in the form of just like some words that he has to say. Because we all know these people who just keep fucking up. They keep doing the same awful, offensive shit over and over and over again. And then they say, I'm sorry. And then we let them off the hook. And then they do it again and they say they're sorry again. So apologies, number one, are a problem to begin with. Two, comedians apologizing for their... just don't apologize for it. You said it. Who cares?
But that's the thing is, like, when you hear people do it, they go, it's always some fucking bullshit where they're just like, oh my God, controversy at the comedy club where he said this, and it was so terrible, and it was so racist. It's like, you don't get to, he's joking. That's his job. They're telling a joke. He or she or whoever it is that's up there doing it's a joke. Like, the things that, if it's a joke, that's not, they usually or probably don't actually mean those things. It's said to make you laugh. That's the point. That's the whole idea of the profession. You shouldn't have to apologize for that because it's clearly not intended to be serious. Like, that doesn't...
yeah. And if a comedian has a joke that's really, really good, like, and it's offensive, and someone goes, I'm really offended by that, you shouldn't say it anymore. A comedian, deep down, you're like, but that's like that's my end of my 15-minute closer, dude. Like,
yeah.
I need that joke, you know? I don't know.
People who get offended by jokes like that should only be allowed to, like, hire their own comedian, like, list, and be like, right, these are the things you can and can't say. Because if you're going to go into a comedy club and then complain, it's like, no, that's how that works. That's the point of that place.
I think people complaining about entertainment in general is like a wider issue, especially these days.
Yeah.
When I hear people complaining about something that they're watching or something that they're a fan of, I'm like, are you not aware of the choices that are at your disposal? So if you go into a comedy club to watch a comedian, be prepared for what that is as a slice of entertainment. If you want your comedy to be very specific and honed in a very specific way, then you have to wait for your favorite comedian to come to town, or better yet, be a real fan and travel to wherever they're performing and watch them. But if you go to a lineup show where you're going to see a mixed bag of 5 comedians, don't be fucking surprised when you see a mixed bag of 5 comedians. You're not going to like all of them. You're not going to hate all of them. You know, some awful, but you've paid $10 to go and see a lineup show of comedians. That's what you get. And you know, leave it to people to spend more of their time complaining about the one comedian they didn't like instead of throwing their support where it should go in the direction of that one comedian they do like. And what you tend to find as well is that one person who gets to the end of that show, they're like, I fucking hated this comedian. They were so offensive. They were bullshit. In the back of their head, there was that one comedian they did love. Let's say her name was Sarah, whatever, right? And then they run into Sarah on the street a few years later, and they go, oh, I saw you do stand-up that one time. How come are you still doing it? And they're like, oh, no, I'm not doing it anymore. And they're like, oh, that's real sad. And it's like, well, because you put your attention and your focus in the wrong place, you know, instead of coming off of that and going, that one comedian who was great, I want to support them and make sure they keep going. You put your focus in a negative place. It's so funny. People with free content now, I hear people complaining about it. They're like, oh, I don't like this and I don't like... I'm like, dude, like Twitch is a perfect example.
Yes,
if you don't like what's going on here, you have so many options at your disposal.
I know that. It's like, why don't you do things differently? It's like, I don't want to. Like, go find someone that does that. Or with Twitch, you go and do it. Like, buy a webcam and buy a microphone and turn the shit on, and then you do exactly what you like, and then that's fine. You do it. Like, if there's a hole in the market where for the things that you like that's not being catered to, you can do it. You could do it. We believe in you. This podcast says yes.
That's right. There's no nothing stopping anyone from doing anything anymore. I mean, that's why I've really enjoyed like finding a new sort of home on Twitch for making stuff, because there's just no rules here. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
How did you get here? That was the next question. It's like, how did you get to Twitch? What was your journey to Twitch?
When I moved to the States, I was just looking for a way to kind of keep doing stuff. And like a year or so ago, I started mucking around, making some videos for YouTube and doing some stuff for Facebook. And But I'm out here by myself, and so as a one-man operation, some of the stuff that I was trying to do was a bit difficult. And then a friend of mine on Facebook had just spent. She was 3 years into doing Twitch, and her name's Austin Marie. She's an amazing streamer. She's fucking dope. But I thought, I'll go have a look at this thing that she's doing. And this was just earlier this year. I mean, I knew about live streaming, and I knew people were live streaming video games, and I'd even given Twitch a go as like a console scrub, I think like 3 years ago, maybe when I first got here to the States. But internet was so bad, I literally did it for 10 minutes and then turned it off and and reactivated my account 3 years later. But she was doing creative streams, and I went in and had a look, and I was like, oh man, I used to love doing this. And you get to it gives you a reason to basically talk to the chat. I think that's the thing that I was the most excited about, because I worked in TV for a long time where you're making something and then it's getting beamed out through the TV, and there's this kind of the connection with an audience doesn't really exist. And I was looking at this thing and I was going, wow, like the audience is right there and they're able to talk to you, and it was just this neat level of engagement that I wanted to initially experiment around with. I was writing a proposal for a production company. I get paid to write proposals for people sometimes, and it was basically about people who are from New Zealand or have an association with New Zealand who are on Twitch, which was one of the reasons why I was looking at my mate Austin, because she is from Los Angeles but had spent some time studying abroad in Dunedin in New Zealand. And so it was going to be a little thing about people who have a connection to New Zealand. It didn't get picked up. People thought it was trash. But
Put
it
Mad
was,
World back on. Put Mad World back on.
But it was researching that, basically writing a research project on Twitch that got me really, really curious about the platform. Because the more research I did on it, the more I was like, this is like everything that we used to talk about when we were doing television. Like the biggest one being that there's no gatekeepers. One of the most interesting things, I think, with TV and how that works as a world is that like who are like the bottleneck point for where the creators go and then what gets funneled out to the public. Yep. So you could have the greatest idea for a sitcom of all time, but if you can't convince a room full of network executives that it is just that, it's never going to get made and it's never going to get put out there. The fact that this world existed where the bottleneck was the audience, like the people who decide what gets more widely distributed and what doesn't, are the very people who it's being distributed to. It's an unbreakable rule of live streaming and the way that it functions, where if you are producing the best content, your channel will become successful. There's just no two ways about it. There's no, I'm making really, really good stuff, but no one's coming and looking at it. It's just, that's not a fact. The facts of Twitch are indisputable as far as your content being good and your audience being there are concerned. I've been in a few conversations where I've heard people say, I can't believe such and such is getting this many viewers, they shouldn't or whatever, for whatever reason. But they do. And that's one of the things that I've always loved about entertainment, is that people say entertainment is subjective, and I think it couldn't be more different. I think entertainment is one of the least subjective, sometimes least subjective than sport. If you're making something that's good and that's entertaining, the only measure of that is whether there's an audience for it. And as long as that audience is growing, this is the other thing that really, really appealed to me about Twitch, is the way that they actually monitor what is a successful channel. They don't look at a successful channel as something that has 10,000 people watching it every time. They grade a channel's success on its ability to grow and retain an audience, right? And that's the only thing that really matters in any broadcasting medium. It's like, are the people who were watching you last week still watching you this week? And are more people watching this week than were watching the week before? As long as those metrics are always on the rise, you're making good content and you're doing something decent and you're succeeding in the medium. If those statistics are going in the other direction, you're not doing your job properly, you're not making good content, and you're not succeeding in the medium. It's not because such and such is getting subs now, and it's not because someone's cheating and doing something in their channel they shouldn't be doing. It's got nothing to do with, they're only getting those views because they're hot. Well, those are the rules, mate. And that's the reality of
forever.
Yeah, it's like, it's just, those are just the rules. That's just the truth. You're never going to complain your way to victory. You've just got to be real, and you've got to look at everything that's going on. And I love that. But I also love the fact that here as well, you can kind of, you get to decide as a content creator, which I never got to do working in television, and was one of the things I loved about being a solo stand-up. As far as being a stand-up goes, my set belonged to me. I never had to ask anyone else for approval as to what I was going to do. So you get to decide with your content, okay, I really want to do this. People might not like it, but I'm going to enjoy it. So now I have to answer the question, what's more important to me? Doing something that's going to give me a broad appeal and garner me a large number of viewers, or doing the thing that I want to do, taking a risk on the thing that's like an unknown quantity, but that's just something I love and that's something I want to give a go, and see if it flies. And now, the fact of the matter is you might try something, and 4 or 5 of the people who have regularly been checking out your channel might go, hey, we're going to bail on this. This is not our thing. But as long as you had a good time making it, and you made the decision to do the thing that was going to be fun for you, you haven't really lost anything. So that's the other thing that really attracted me to this medium, is it's like, it's all down to the content creator and to the creative individual as to what level they want to engage with the service. You know, if you just want to try and figure out the system and crack the code, you know, I was joking with Dibs about it the other day about when Dr. Disrespect started getting popular, right? And you literally see people on Twitch at the time, I guess, would have been going, oh, it's a sunglasses and a wig. That's what you've got to get. And they think they've cracked the code. They think, oh, we'll put on sunglasses and a wig because that's what he's done. And that's what's bringing an audience to his channel. So we'll all put on sunglasses and a wig. And if you want to do that, if you want to spend like hours relentlessly trying to crack the code, that's fine and that's fun, and you'll net what you'll net from doing it.
It exists. The guidelines are there to do it.
Yeah. And you will reap whatever the appropriate rewards are of your approach to the medium. But for me personally, that freedom to be able to juggle between being creative and trying to realistically grow a channel without having to filter it through anyone else and ask anyone, is this a good idea? Like when we used to write sketch comedy for television and we had 3 producers, right? We'd always sit down in these meetings with these 3 producers. I was the head writer on the show, and we'd read sketches out to, it would be me and 2 other comedians reading sketches that were written to 3 people who are sitting at a table at the other end of the room. Couldn't imagine a more soul-destroying. And it's where I kind of came up with the theory that the number of times you can explain a joke before the joke is no longer funny is half. As in, when you are halfway through explaining the joke, even you don't.
And it's already murdering you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
so
like,
to
well,
not
no,
have
what
to go
you
through
didn't
that
get
process.
was, nah, fuck it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. but not having to go through that process on Twitch, you go, hey, I've got a crazy idea for something I want to do on my channel. I don't have to email someone and say, hey, do you think it would be okay for us to do this on the broadcast or anything? I could just go, right, like, risk versus reward. People might hate this. People might love this. I really want to give it a go. I'm just going to fucking do it. I don't care. That level of freedom is amazing. And, you know, for someone who's been working and kind of creating stuff to entertain people for, you know, for, I guess, like, 20 years or something now. It's just an exciting new way to try and engage audiences. And I don't know. I just freaking love it.
Dude. It's fucking awesome, dude. It's nice. I like the way that you describe it as this. That's ways I hadn't thought of it. Hey, Pez, I should let you ask some questions. I feel like I'm monopolizing.
No,
shit.
I was
I'm
actually.
making you like sit there quietly in the corner. I feel like an asshole now. My apologies.
I was thinking, I would have loved to have put you in like on the stage at TwitchCon and give that speech, like what you just said there, because that's, you hit the nail on the head there. Like, but you explained it better than anyone else ever could. So.
Oh, well, look, I'm a bit of a scrub, really, when it comes to Twitch. I've only been doing it for a few months, but then I know what, used to frustrate me when it comes to broadcasting, and it was believing that my idea was good and having to ask permission. And, like, it's, you're not always right, but that's something I enjoy learning as well, is, going, I want to take a risk on something, do this in a broadcast, finding out that it doesn't work and, going, okay, well, like, at least I know now, as opposed to, like, walking around with a massive chip on my shoulder forever with this one producer for not letting us try some crazy idea for a sketch we had one time that, might have been great, but it might have been a disaster. But then because I never was allowed to do it, in my mind, it was the most genius thing that was never realized. At least now, I don't have any unused ideas kind of sitting around. It's all about time management, really, for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, well, a big part of Twitch is clearly video games. And
yeah,
you pride yourself in a bit of video game. Like, you pride yourself playing them. You love video games. Fallout, clearly love Fallout. Now, I want to take a step back. Let's go back down memory lane. You're a young kid running around. I don't know. I'm going to say you were 15. You're 15 years old. Was that roughly the first time you played a video game?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
15.
Yeah, you over there. Yeah, you.
Yeah, you, mate.
I think the first time I would have played a video game must have been when I was 11 or 12, and it was an old, like, Atari system. It was one of those, like, mid-90s... Sorry, not midnight, like late 80s, early 90s kind of nondescript gaming consoles.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called, but it had some kung fu platformer game where you were just like this little blocky kung fu guy who, you had like a kick and a punch, and you had a low kick and a low punch,
and you just ran forward.
You just ran forward and punched stuff.
Yeah. Was it called Black
I remember
Belt?
thinking that. I can't remember. I couldn't tell you for the life of me. The first video game that really grabbed me by the nuts was Abe's Odyssey.
PS1.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've had that on
because
demo disc,
it was the first time that I really felt that a video game had managed to create a world for me. I played that, and then I played Final Fantasy VII, which absolutely blew my mind at the time. Because Final Fantasy VII was my first introduction to RPGs, and it was the first time I played a video game where I was like, holy shit, just using like a few kind of two-dimensional images that kind of, have like sort of a GIF-ish quality, a jive-ish quality of having a bit of movement to them, and the music and everything, like a whole world was created, and suddenly I was like, well, I'm RPGs for the rest of my life, you know what I mean?
All right, sorry, Matt. He's gone into dangerous territory there. You were waiting for it. All right, let's talk Final Fantasy VII. Like, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. I'm a favorite. Like, I've got a Cloud tattoo. Like, I'll show you the tattoo later. But okay.
You got a Cloud tattoo.
Yeah, I got a Cloud, Zack, and Sephiroth tattoo on my right arm. I love Final Fantasy.
Sephiroth.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's dabble on that a little bit.
I watched someone do a speed run of Final Fantasy VII, and that's another thing about Twitch, that just like the shit that I am finding as a consumer is just amazing. Like, I'm coming across random stuff late at night that just is so pleasing to me that someone is out there streaming this. Mm-hmm. Like, in real life, has been an amazing revelation for me as far as like finding new and interesting content on Twitch is concerned.
Yeah.
But watching someone do a speed run of Final Fantasy VII where they finish the entire game in less than an hour and 30 minutes, and that's something I love as well, is when you see a channel that's specifically thought about like the person who's coming in. Because I come in, I'm watching a guy play Final Fantasy VII. There's a counter on the side of the screen with like all the specific points that he's trying to get to by a certain time. I'd never seen anything like this before. Watching somebody do a speed run, I know that to a lot of you that's like a language that you guys have been speaking for a long time. For me, I was brand new to this and brand new to this idea. And that's another thing that it's really important to be aware of with your audience on Twitch, is that like not everybody understands the platform to the level that you do, and it's a platform that's rapidly acquiring new users like myself. So this is clearly a guy who'd gone, right, I'm going to think of everything from the hardcore, because within 30 seconds, without having to ask a question in chat, right, I'd managed to ascertain exactly what was going on. And I sat there and I was like, and it was perfect as well from a broadcasting perspective, because I was like, right, he's saying on his little timer there that he's going to finish this game in an hour and 30 minutes, and there's 55 minutes on the clock. So he's either 35 minutes away from completing his target or not completing his target. Yeah. So as a viewer, I already know that I'm 35 minutes away from like a win-loss proposition. Do you know what I mean? But I was hooked. I sat there for the full 35 minutes and I was going, how the fuck is he doing this? And he, in that final dungeon in Final Fantasy VII, he basically just like runs past everything. But he's also configured his character in such a way through the speed run that he's perfectly designed to beat the final Sephiroth boss.
Yeah, they also, that's the Steam version. I got an issue with that. So like my record is 13. Is for 7 is 13 hours full playthrough. But then I seen these people on Twitch the first time I was introduced to the community GDQ Games Done Quick, and they do their big 7-day marathons, and that's see my very first Final Fantasy 7 run. Dude did it in an hour and 40 minutes. Sorry.
Next week, dude. SGDQ is next week.
I know. I'm looking so forward to it.
It's gonna ruin my sleep cycle for the whole fucking week.
Quickly on that, next week's guest, we got the Australian speedrunning marathon guys on here.
Oh shit, son.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
When I first seen them do that, I was like, this is bullshit. Then they break the game where they... I got fucking problems with that, where they break the game to the point where they're on the first disc, but they load a save file from the third disc, but they close the game quick enough and they turn it back on. All of a sudden, their character data's swapped. All of a sudden, their character from their first disc is on the third disc, and they got the shitty stats. But they go back and then they just spam one fucking item. Then they can beat the boss in an hour and a half. I'm like, that's not right. That's
right. So really, what that's about is about beating the code rather than beating the traditional game, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So
because I'm with you. I'd rather see if I could watch someone beat Final Fantasy VII in 13 hours, I'd be into checking that out, because that's a game that to my mind it was like 600-700 hours of doing it. But if I could episodically kind of go through, as long as it was entertaining, do you know what I mean? As long as you're reading all the guys out in funny voices, their little.
Well, that's like someone like I don't like excessive profanity. I had him on last week. For him to go through, and he's playing Final Fantasy Tactics at the moment, and he goes through every single character in that game, and he'll give them their own voice, and just he'll play everything. He'll turn his camera off during the narrative stuff, then he'll turn it back on during the gameplay. It's just like, it's brilliant watching people like. That's why I like watching people like him do those sort of streams. Like,
that's what I really enjoy and really aspire to, I guess. And it's something that's really amazing to me about streaming, is that, like, in the traditional world of broadcasting, you know, you would have a producer who's running all of the gear, and then the broadcaster gets to just focus on being a broadcaster and focus on engaging their audience. And I think Twitch couldn't be a more appropriate name for what this community is, because the people who really excel at it really define Twitch down to a T. That ability to just have so much focus and so much Twitch muscle reaction to everything, where there's a guy who I love who streams Fallout called Travelan, who has set up his entire stream like a radio station, and it's just really smoothly done. Like, if you watch his stream, the experience is just really pleasant from start to finish. There's no jarring moment of audio. There's no, but for someone to be able to focus on being a broadcaster, on the quality of the production of their stream, and playing a video game, like you're basically doing 3 things at once there. And if you look at your brain like a CPU when you're broadcasting, just monitoring chat alone can take about half of its runtime. So I'm so amazed by some of these people who have this ability to run just such multifaceted broadcasts from one spot.
Have you watched Fallout or like Elder Scrolls speedruns? Those things are fucking absurd. I watched Fallout 4. It's like, yeah, we did that in like 40 minutes. I was like, excuse me? Like, it's like, yeah. How have you done this in 40 minutes? I'm like, yeah, just make friends, I just plow through it. I know exactly where to, if I jump down this way, if I face this direction. And you don't think, like, this isn't like, for some people, sure, but for finding this out isn't a full-time job. This is just something they've done anyway, just to say that they're the fastest person in the world to, like, that shit hurts my brain. Like, even
but then
it's common to me, it's still unbelievable.
That's what's at the core of us as gamers, though, isn't it? Is that, like, you're playing for accolades in a vacuum. Like, when you're playing sport, you're going to win the trophy in front of a crowd full of people. When we play a video game, the only person that we really need to witness our amazing success is ourselves. I mean, unless you're streaming, obviously, but pre-streaming, like, I played hours and hours and hours of Fallout. I was doing amazing shit in my living room, like killing 8 super mutants, in one combat session. Oh, I fucking did it. But, like, there's no one hoisting you up at the end of it. It's all just sort of for you. You're in the vacuum. And so setting these weird targets for ourselves and kind of making the game within the game, those are the gamers that I love watching the most, are those people who just can't get past the basic framework of the video game for them is not enough. It's not enough that Fallout was a great game. Now they have to create a new game for themselves where they beat it in the shortest time possible. And, you know, to the point where, like you were saying before, Piers, that it has to go beyond, like, playing the game as a game. Now they have to start playing the game as a line of code, and they have to try and beat it that way. And they have to know every glitch. But that's at the core of what gamers really are, is you kind of become obsessed with the game, and I think it's the most enjoyable when a gamer takes a game and they put their own game on top of the game. You know,
it's like well, when you think about when you're a kid, like would say your old Master System, Mega Drive games, and the Nintendo games. It's like when games were broken back then, they were clearly broken. They came out. There was no fix. There was no way to fix it. That's the way the games work, and you had to work around that. Even though the game was broken, you had to work your own way around it, and you make your own game in it, and that's why I love seeing the old retro runs, because those guys are so passionate. They're like, oh yeah, here's this part, yeah, such and such tried to do it. This game was actually broken, but we found, like, the community got together after 16 years. We found a way to do it now. Boom, boom, watch this. Yeah, boom, the game's beaten. It's like, that's fucking brilliant. Like, it's one of the things about this community that I think it's so fun. It's the way that, you know, because I've been a gamer for a long time, but I took myself. I used to when the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 were at war with each other. I used to listen to the One Up podcast, and, you know, like, listen to a bunch of guys all kind of sit around and talk about who was better, you know, the Xbox or the PlayStation for ages. And I was so ingrained in the industry, and then I basically just kind of ignored the industry, kept playing video games, but just ignored all the jibber jabber. Came back into it at the start of this year, like thick and fast with Twitch. And since kind of piling into Twitch, I realized, like, it's moved so far and so fast in the last 2 to 3 years with streaming and with everything else that's going on. This industry's like, it's just rocketing ahead. It's insane. Alright, what were we fucking talking about? Oh yeah, okay. What's your favorite game? Before, because that's what I was trying to lead into. I can't beat around the bush for that one.
I mean, I think Fallout's a clear winner for me. Games like that just
Which one?
Yeah,
Fallout 4.
What?
Fallout 4 right now. I think Fallout New Vegas is to my mind, like the most well-made Fallout game as far as the story goes. But then, like,
respect.
When you go back and play that game, though, like if Bethesda want to take my money, just take all of the assets and all of the production that they had for Fallout New Vegas and just, like, put that game out with the engine from Fallout 4 and put some settlement building and stuff in there, and, like, oh my god, we'll be freaking.
I think people are legitimately working on it. Modders are doing it because modders are insane people. They're trying to figure that out, as how to port all of New Vegas into fucking Fallout 4, and they're modeling it. I'm like, you let me know when that's finished, and I'll be there.
Yeah, dude. But I mean, that's why as well. Like, yeah, Bethesda still take people after your bloody E3 complaining about Bethesda and about their press conference. I mean, I was disappointed. I was disappointed that I didn't get some big thirst quenching announcement, you know. But at the same time, I'm not like, Bethesda are evil and I want to kill all of them. I could have done with a little bit more Todd Howard in my life, right, Vix? You know what I'm talking about. But they're so amazing as a developer because of their support that they give to their modern community, and the fact that, like, their games just have this amazing life after death kind of deal going on, you know, where people keep making.
Yeah, look at Skyrim, yeah.
I'm still playing Skyrim. That's the game I'm playing now more than most, because I've finally figured out a way to have 300 mods running in unison. It took me a month, but they all work, and it barely ever crashes. Legitimately, like, I spent 2 days building patches. It was the most boring, like, it was awful. But it works now, and everything is just, like, everything's pretty, and I've added all this extra content, and everything, like, it's amazing. And that game's 6.5 years old.
So when I message you and I say you're busy,
how to
when I message you and you say you're busy, and you go, yeah, flat out. The only way I can get you to stop...
He's sorting out his Skyrim mods.
Yeah, I suppose this is true, but as soon as I say to him, I go, I want to build a new D&D character, he's like, fuck yeah, and then...
I'll play D&D, but, like, hey, man...
I see this awesome potential with mods, because what I've been doing with Fallout is this scenario where, like, people in chat can kind of use my my loyalty store to buy things that affect the game. But I just see this massive opportunity with like programs talking to one another, whereby stuff like that happen. I mean, this was pre E3. I was like, oh man, like the more interactive chat can get with the streamer, the better. And then Microsoft announced their whole mixer scenario, which is exactly the kind of stuff that I would love to see come more to this platform, which is that idea that like someone's playing a first-person shooter and someone in chat can like buy a fucking overshield for someone. You know what I mean? Like that's just so. To me, that's cool. That's like when it really becomes, just next level. Like if you had someone playing a VR game and you could buy a jump scare. You know what I mean? Like because it really it's just programs talking to each other.
That's cruel.
Yeah, but
they can't even escape it. It's strapped to their face. That's.
But it's so achievable because like
that.
all it needs to be is like a line of like a command in chat sending a message to a file somewhere, and that file being online and being readable in VR.
Someone did it. A fucking friend of mine, Jared Gerritsen, he made a game. What was it? Daylight, I think was the name of it. Where it had Twitch functionality. He like built in Twitch functionality. He didn't tell anyone Twitch. They just kind of figured this fucking shit out. Where if someone was streaming their game, if someone wrote if a command got said enough times and it had a cooldown, but it would say like ghost. And like a ghost would appear and like freak the fuck out of people. Like, yeah, he fucking built it. The madman. Yeah.
Wow.
It exists. It's great. People are upset.
That's amazing.
People are upset.
I have so many questions.
I'll send you Jared's info. You fucking ask him everything. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already see like what Microsoft are doing with Mixer. Like, it would be possible with the right people to just do that. Like for example, right, in my Fallout stream, someone can use caps, which is my loyalty currency. They can buy a stim pack, and I can only use a stim pack if someone's bought one for me. Now at the moment, I have to basically run it all on an honesty system, right? But it would be feasible to build a mod where basically or just to mod the game so that when it goes, all right, when the Fallout 4 game file goes to look for where my stim pack is, I'm telling it to look to an online file, right? A file that's somewhere in the cloud. And that file is directly affected by things that people are doing in my Twitch chat, which means that then becomes, like, as a broadcaster, that removes that part of the process for me. I no longer have to manually change the number in my overlay and then pinky promise not to grab the stim pack. It also means that if I have more of something, like it's a real problem for me right now, like I have 30 waters available to me in the inventory that the chat have put together for me, but I only have 3 in my in-game inventory. It'd be so cool if those decisions were actually directly affecting my inventory in-game, and I actually see it being like a relatively... Like if I could actually figure out and pull apart the code.
Fucking amazing. God, I wish I was intelligent enough to do anything like that. But
that's what I was like saying. There's a funny.
But it's written in such a way that you can, because Bethesda's modding software is so user friendly that all I really need to do is once I get it up and running, is go in there and just start pulling it apart and having a look.
Just the editor, yeah, whatever it's called, the GAC, yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of
total
mods,
total stim packs equals look here. So
did you see GTA Online and offline, GTA 5? Rockstar are no longer okay with people using mods at all.
They've walked back on that.
I heard today on a podcast that they no okay on that.
I was reading, so news came out, so they're walking back on that one. So what it was is, and I'll give credit where credit is due. So it was an action permitted by it got done by Take-Two.
Yeah.
Take-Two is Rockstar's parent company. It's like the same way that like Activision is the parent company for Blizzard. It's more of a partnership, but still the same kind of fucking deal. Take-Two is Rockstar's parent company. They also have 2K and a bunch of other companies. And they did it. They started taking down these modding tools, including Open4, which was the big like single-player modding tool that's been used for like fucking 10 years. And they took it down, and there was a lot of internet outrage. GTA 5's review score on Steam fucking just tanked. like into the earth. Like it was terrible. And I think Rockstar kind of came out and they go, we want to allow single player modding. Like we've always had the opinion that if you're not affecting other people, as long as you're, not ruining the online experience, then yeah, you can fucking mod to your heart's content. We don't really give a shit. So they're walking it back. So they're like, there's an update currently available now for Open4, and then Rockstar is currently in communications with their lead developer to get it all set back up. So yeah, they're going to be allowing single player mods again, which is good. Very happy with that. That was it was never going to stop me playing GTA 5, but I got a little bummed when kind of out of nowhere they just like, yeah, we're just canceling this. We're just not going to do it anymore. And they just kind of shit-canned it without giving any warning. So
it was like heartbreaking when they canned what was it where you could travel to GTA? You can travel to Liberty City. Like when they canned that was depressing.
Yeah, that's an upsetting one. That and the one where someone was building all of Red Dead Redemption's map into GTA 5. They shit canned that too. That was a depressing one.
When's that new Red Dead Redemption game supposed to drop?
Fall of 2018, yeah.
Next year, end of next year.
That'll be big.
Sometimes it's relieving when you hear that the release date for a game that you're really excited about is like a ways off,
Yeah, we're fucking
because sometimes you hear like they go, "Oh, that's coming out in 3 weeks," and like, "Fuck, I haven't finished all the other shit that I've got to do, mate."
But then you're like,
just end of this year alone, like fucking Christ! Like I was looking over it before, like there's like 14 different fucking games I want to play that all come out within like 6 weeks of each other. It's like, how am I possibly going to, like, please space this out, guys. It's like, give you one in April, I'll take one in February, put one in like the end of May. Like, can we stop putting them all? I know you're all trying to get that like holiday Christmas dollar, but like, God, dog.
That's what I was really hoping for from Bethesda, was them to come out and go, and there's going to be a new Fallout in November.
I'm almost excited. I'm kind of stoked that they didn't. Although at the same time, I really want to play the new Wolfenstein, like a lot.
It looks good. I really enjoy the New Order. Really enjoy the New Order.
It's really good. So yeah. That's fair. You had one last question to ask, Paz. Are you gonna ask it, or shall I do it?
Yeah, you go for it.
Steve, what's your fucking most hated game of all time? What game do you think sucks the most, or was disappointing? Or was just generally bad?
Honestly, that's a tough question to answer, because if there was a game that I didn't like, I probably stopped playing it after 5 minutes and just found a game I did like. So it'd be pretty tough for me to answer that question, really. I'm not someone who sits there and suffers through like a shit game. Oh, this game is so shit, but just another 10 hours and I'll be good. Like,
really smart.
Well, it's always funny when someone goes, "Oh, I fucking hated that game. Did you finish it?" Yeah.
What was I going to do? Not
clearly not. Then if you followed it all the way through to the finish, you know what I mean. Like, that's what people need to learn. Is like you're never that committed. You know what I mean? Like, not even when it comes to sex, you're never that committed. You're never so committed to a situation that you can't just go, you know what? I'm not enjoying this. I'm out. You know what I mean?
It's franchise commitment, though, right? It's like it won't be, but it's like if the next Fallout sucked, you'd start playing it and it was kind of bad. You'd be like, yeah, but it gets better, doesn't it? And then you keep trudging into it, and then you get like 30 hours in, you go, it doesn't. Like it takes you like a day, and you go, shit.
But then with a game like Fallout, there's so many options and so many different things that you can do that it's like, you could just, with a game like that, it's like, either you just then focus on the parts of the game that you do enjoy and ignore everything else, or like, just setting yourself up for a shit time.
Yeah.
But I can't whinge about putting myself through could you have a more privileged wine, eh? I sat down in my really comfortable house for 10 hours. There were no bombs falling on my family. I had a full meal. Actually, I had several in the weeks leading up to it. And I had to sit there for 6 hours doing nothing, playing a game that wasn't very good. And it's just not fair. And this game company just don't know what they're doing. And my life would be so much better if the game company actually just put effort into making it. Like, who are you, if that's what you're complaining about? Go fuck yourself.
It's funny you said, not funny you say that. It was funny you say that. But when I was younger, there was this game I used to like. I fucking hated it, but there was a really cool cutscene. It was a 4-disc game. It was on the at the end of the second disc. It was called Legend of Dragoon. It's terrible fucking RPG. I played that game, complained and bitched about it, just to watch a 15-second cutscene, and then I did not enjoy playing the rest of it. But yeah, so I guess I'm that guy you're talking about, in a way.
I was just thinking, I think what I just described might be 90% of the content of this podcast. So,
well, back then,
I apologize.
Oh,
There's nothing wrong with privileged white guys complaining about gaming. It's one of the single most entertaining things. Privileged young white men complaining about video games is quality content, folks. Don't dismiss it.
Privileged white people can complain about things. We wouldn't have anything else left to do.
That's basically most of broadcasting.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Oh fuck! Do we have other questions, Pez, that we can get to?
Yeah.
I get some questions.
We definitely
do
have
it.
some questions. I didn't do games coming out this week. I completely forgot. I haven't done it for 4
fuck.
weeks.
Can I give you guys 30 seconds to just quickly chat amongst yourselves and go get myself one more cup of coffee?
You
Fuck
can
before we
do
pile into
whatever
these
you
questions?
want.
All right.
Okay. All right, let me find
You
this
can
first.
do whatever you like.
Oh fuck off, Ti. Oh Jesus! What is coming out this week? Just to run through it, just for people that have it.
Do you want me find?
just
Okay.
so
Do
you-
you want me find
Just
one?
so you know. Okay, I'm on it. Things
Well,
coming out this week. Elite Dangerous is coming to consoles, which is awesome. Which would be cool. What else is coming out?
The Steam
Micro
sale.
Machines World Series, awesome. Hunting Simulator for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Wait, is that
Valkyria Revolution. No, it's not. It's not VR. It's just a simulator game. Valkyria Revolution, and of course the biggest one is the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy for PlayStation 4. So a bunch of the remastered Crash Bandicoot games.
And you forgot that the Crash Battle Simulator, a Craft Battle Simulator on Steam. Do you want me to read the description?
Sure, why not? Why you? Yeah.
Why not? Might as well stretch my legs. I haven't done it for 4 weeks. Craft Battle Simulator is an awesome multiplayer. You have to control a ship with cannons and so forth, going around destroying other ships.
Does it say and so forth?
No, it doesn't say and so forth. I had a message pop up. This game is a ton of fun to play with friends or even alone, and even a single-handedly damsel in distress fleet. Damsel. Okay, well that's okay. Fuck that. That game's coming out this week.
Good job, Pat.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Okay. I was probably
Oh
asking
man.
questions.
Yeah. How many questions do we have? Do we have a lot? Do we have
We've got
ones
a
we
few,
just
but
went
some
through
of them I'm
quickly?
gonna skip over. I'm not gonna lie. They're kind of stupid.
No, if we can answer them quickly. If we can answer them
Okay,
quickly,
I've got a
then
question.
I've
Can
got
I have $1? That's what one is.
it. No.
I got another one. It's like, why do you ask questions here? Shouldn't you ask them during the podcast? And to that, I say, go fucking suck a dick. I'll ask them wherever I want.
That's overly aggressive. The reason that we ask them is so that we can queue some up, because maybe that you're an audio listener and you can't make it to the podcast, so you would have no other alternative for getting your question in. So we give you questions and we take them on other forms of media so that audio listeners also have a chance to ask questions, not just the people in the live chat. Even though we do slag off the audio listeners relentlessly because they are giant cretins and, just general human garbage.
Yeah.
We do also want to let you know that we appreciate your questions.
This has got a good one. This one's Matty. You like this one?
Yep.
Sharab says Floyd or Connor.
I wanted to talk about this too. Look, it'll almost certainly be Floyd, but I want to live in the reality where it's Connor. I want to live in that reality. In that that multiverse theory, in that 1 in a million universes where Connor just fucking deads him. Oh, I want to live there. It would be so great. All the world would, the fucking sporting world would fucking flip its tits. But it'll almost certainly be Mayweather. It'll almost certainly be either by a very, very lopsided decision, or he'll maybe kind of punch him out and be TKO and say the 10th round. But that's
What an amazing scenario, isn't it? What an amazing world we live in, where two guys standing in a square and Like,
Octagon. Oh no.
well, I was gonna say,
Yeah, you're right.
It's a square.
I was gonna
It's a
say
boxing.
punching each other, but I mean, we all know there's gonna be very little of any of that going on. Two
Swinging at each
men,
other. Yeah.
one man running away from another guy for like 20 minutes is gonna be the most watched thing.
Oh yeah, and they're both gonna make $100 million minimum.
If aliens are flying over the Earth at that particular moment, that civilization is never making contact.
No, dude, those aliens are gonna come down, and we're gonna explain to them what's happening, and they're gonna look at us and go,
Fuck.
"We're going to kill you all." And they're like, "Yeah,
No.
that's fair.
The fair. Yeah, the aliens will come down. They'll look at what's happening, and they'll go, "Yeah, McGregor's gonna lose it on decision, I reckon."
It'd be amazing. But listen, I said on Twitter the other day, I'm like, I think McGregor's already won. It doesn't matter. And they go, "What do you mean?" I'm like, he's 29 with no head trauma, and he's going to be worth about $100 million. I'm like, if you could retire at 29 with $100 million, all your faculties intact, he's got a beautiful new son. It's like, yeah, that's probably the move. I call that a win.
You know what I say to a guy who retires with $100 million? Why don't you retire with 10 at age 22 or whatever? Like, that would be... If I make $1 million, you would never fucking hear from me again. Like, I see these streamers who are like, doesn't matter how much money I make streaming, I'm always in it, yo. If someone came into my stream tomorrow and dropped $1 million donation, they were like, yo, I've got billions of dollars. Tonight I was going to give $1 million donation to someone. And they dropped $1 million. Crazy. I'd be like, stream, has the money gone in? Yep, shut down the stream. Just black screen. You'd never see me again. No one in Filthy Creatures, you'd never see me on the fucking Twitter ever again.
Oh,
that's the move, man. I understand. I've told people, it's like, I'd never want to be like, I'd never want to be that kind of rich. I'm like, if I was that kind of rich to the point where, you know the kind of rich you get to where everyone knows you're rich? Like that level of wealthy where your fucking net worth, you're like celebrity net worth, people look up how much money you have. If I got that rich, I'd be in a log cabin in the middle of the woods so fast. You'd never even know like God. Like, I'd be dead, like, I'd be in an island somewhere, like just buy one and be like, I'm fucking out. Like, you're never gonna see me again. Never.
It's just human nature, man. It's like, you think about it, it's like the Emperor of Japan. That fucker only gets to see like 10 people, and they only get to see him to spend their whole fucking life getting to meet him. But that dude, people want to be rich and isolated so you can fucking jerk off over all your money and do whatever you want. Don't have to put up
he just really wants to jerk
off.
I'll
jerk off soon, don't worry.
That's it. He's really missing.
Sorry. I was just giving a shout out to the tight as fuck emote that just floated past me, eh? Just the tiniest emote I've ever seen just floated right past my head. It's right there.
God damn it. God damn it.
What a beaut, mate. What a stunner. Please don't kick me out of the stream team. Please don't kick me out of the stream team. Dibs GG, guys. Leader of the Filthy Creatures. I'm just kidding, mate. Look, if I got that $1 million donation, I'd slice you up some fucking cheddar, dude. Dibs, I'd hook you up, bro. Fuck the rest of the team. Dibs.
I would, but I have a high requirement for people.
Dibs, listen, dude. If I get the $1 million donation, dude, I'll give you a call, bro. While flying out here, we'll split it 50-50, okay? Because you're my stream dad.
What the fuck?
Fuck everyone else, dude. You and me.
No, dude, you don't want to spend. You don't want to be only worth $1 million in New York.
Excuse me, guys. This is a whisper. Do you mind? This is a whisper.
You need to be living somewhere else if you're gonna have $1 million. New York is not the right place.
This is a whisper between me and Dibs. Okay, I'm not posting this in chat.
Instantly.
Don't worry. They can't hear this. This is a whisper, Dibs. Okay, they can't hear me right now. So, $500,000 in New York is sweet. We're living out in the country, dude. Don't even listen to Matty. He doesn't know what if we were living in Manhattan, $500,000's nothing. We're living out in the beautiful countryside, mate. We got internet speeds here like you wouldn't believe. We're in a university town. $500,000. Put you up in your own studio, bro. Your job is to just kick back, play video games, and look fucking adorable, mate. That's it.
He does.
Oh, look at the emotes, man. It's so tight.
Well, they're not there.
Pez, do we have any other questions?
Yeah, I'm about to read one.
Thank you.
So, Foam Cyber Race. All right, for the questions. Given SGDQ is coming up this week, which speedruns are your favourites to watch? Which games are you all looking forward to?
At SGDQ, I want to see Doom, because they're doing Doom, and I'm super pumped about that. I want to see Elder Scrolls Oblivion, because the Bethesda games getting speedrun make me rock hard. And Jedi Knight was Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. That game's fucking amazing. That one too. I want to see that speed run. I want to see how, and stupidly quickly they get that shit done.
They're doing
Okay.
Alex Kidd.
Right.
Alex the Kid.
No, Alex Kidd.
Alex the Kid.
No, it's Alex Kidd.
I love Alex the
Dibs
Kid.
can
You
have
said Alex the Kid.
400,000.
Oh, they're
You
doing.
said fucking Alex the Kid. You said it, Pez.
They're doing an 8. Okay, they're doing
I'll
an
have
8-hour
400,000.
speed run of Final Fantasy 7. So.
Bro, you can get 200k to be the producer, okay?
What do I get?
Dude, those were whispers, okay? I'm just doing whispers to chat. Do you mind?
Whisper some
Keep-
of
you
that
keep
money
talking.
my way.
Dude, okay,
what else
Piers,
am I
bro.
looking forward? Yeah,
Piers,
I'm
bro.
I'm really looking forward to Oblivion. I haven't seen a speedrun of Oblivion. I haven't played Oblivion for nearly like 6 years.
Oblivion's bonkers. This is stupid.
Piers, I'm just whispering you now, bro.
Okay.
You can have an internship. No cash, okay? But you can come to the studio with me and Dibs and Rowie, okay? There's no cash for you, but it's an internship. We'll cover your room and board, but you've got to do whatever we say, okay? Just whisper me back. Sorry, what was that, Maddie?
I was just saying, Oblivion speedruns, man, they're crazy. They're so fucking... Because they're Bethesda games, right? So there's always some ability to just glitch through walls and mountains and God knows what else.
You have
So,
no idea.
yeah.
I'm straight back in there!
Well, Nier
I was like, what
Automata.
were you
I'll
saying,
tell-
Maddie? And you were like, yeah, I have no idea what the fuck you were doing. But look, dude.
Nah, look, if you guys say come back in, I'm like, I got this.
Do you know what I'm not looking forward to? They got on here Nier Automata one-handed, just on normal difficulty, doing one-handed. Now that's 2 hours and 25 minutes. Fucker, I can do
Thanks.
that game in an hour, both-handed.
The donation was actually 2 million. I didn't tell anyone else.
Oh.
So you and I are actually splitting a whole second million. But don't tell anyone, okay? Just whisper me back, yo. Whisper me back if you can. Sorry, what was that, guys?
And
I was just
yeah,
typing a whisper,
Diablo
but-
2, Lord of Destruction, one of the best fucking Diablo games. Fuck. God, there's some good ones. What games? Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to. Okay, questions. All right, so these are very gaming specific questions. Where are they? Okay, well, I've got a few. Okay, Fid. Okay, I got to let everyone know. I actually get a lot of WWE questions.
Just ask the fucking question.
No, I got to say this
Jesus
because I keep
Christ.
forgetting. Because people
I
ask me.
like the setup, Maddie. Let him do a setup. I like it.
Yeah, I got it. Where's the... Yeah,
Okay, yep. Okay, no, I got to say
I mean,
this.
to be
Everyone
honest,
keeps
I'd rather.
asking-
Look, guys, let me just stop you for a second there. Look, okay.
Hey,
I
guys,
get where you're coming from. No, sit down, Pez. All right, I get what you're coming from, Maddie. All right, we might not want to hear the setup, but at the end of the day, I'd rather hear Pez's setup than hear someone go, "Ah, not the bloody setup! Don't do the setup!"
But
Like,
I
I'd rather hear the setup than someone yelling over the
it's
setup.
actually
So
a good.
just
It's a good thing because I'm trying to do the setup, and if Maddie's not yelling at me, I'd take for fucking ever. So I'd be like,
But
there
I'm
it is.
into
Becca
the forever.
Hunter.
It gives me time
Yeah.
to sip my coffee.
So, for everyone that keeps
That doesn't
asking
exist.
WWE questions, I specifically got a guest on in 2 weeks where we're going to be talking a lot of wrestling. So, the guest list will be out tomorrow, hopefully, or the day after. Okay, this one's from Toby Too Good. Movie adaptations for video games are typically terrible. If you could guarantee that one would be done well, which game would it be like? Which movie would you like to see?
Like Heavy Rain. It's like already essentially a movie.
Yeah, it's already.
It'll probably be fine. Like, just if the question is like what movie adaptation won't fuck things up, yeah, probably like a Heavy Rain or something like that.
It's usually all the good
Somebody-
games that are already.
Somebody use a dope fucking engine, like a really, really good game engine, and just take a whole new character and make a new story in the Matrix universe, where I get to do all that shit, fucking running up walls, bullet time, the whole gimmick, but just with just like one of the sickest engines that's out there. I don't know much about game engines. I just know they're the things that make games good.
A sick game.
Someone make a dope ass Matrix game.
They did. They actually
Different
made an
story,
online
same
Matrix
time.
game. Oh no, fucking! There was a.
I know it wasn't. There was a Matrix game, it just wasn't very good.
No, there was one that you played like the two characters in the second Matrix. It's fucking Will Smith's wife.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, her.
She has a name, Pez. It's okay.
I didn't know it.
Smash
I
the
knew that was
patriarchy,
Smith. And her
Will Smith's wife.
Asian counterpart, Ghost, his name was. That
Asian
was
counterpart. Wow, 2 for 2.
Holy fuck, that was amazing.
Enter the Matrix. Thank you, Lewis. Yeah. Enter the
It
Matrix.
only could have been better if he was like that black chick and the Asian one. Like, that's
Pretty
the
much,
only
right?
way that could have been better.
Unreal.
Yeah, that's right. You can, and they actually had this hacking part where you would it was just like the code of the Matrix, but then you'd go normal text, and you'd actually have to hack the game, and you get like codes that were like in the Matrix 2 where they had that big bullshit chase scene where the two ghost dudes were on top of the car. Well, there was actually billboards that went past, and there was like words on them, like codes on them. You take that and you put that into the game, and then you go into like this hacking system where you break the game, and then I can't remember what happened. It was cool. It was really cool. Enter the Matrix. You entered the Matrix. You guys seem like seem excited that you want to go play it right now.
Well, I mean, as I said, I played that game.
Oh,
it was all right. It was fun. Like, it was fun to do. Like, don't get me wrong. But if somebody made a fucking dope Matrix game with a real cool leveling system, you know what I mean? Like, as you get more in sync with the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And, like, you have training sessions and stuff. And, like, as you get more in sync with the Matrix, you get to unlock, like, longer bullet time and, you know, just something really dope like that. Oh, my God. It'd be so good.
Oh, God, I want to play it now.
Open world kind of thing, you know? And it's just kind of set in the same time frame as the Matrix. Oh, my God. It was real linear dibs. It was, like, start to finish. There was no veering off and doing other stuff, you know? Dude, you know what I'm excited about? I'm sure that's going to be one of your questions. Fucking Crackdown, bro. Who's on the Crackdown squad?
Not me. I've never played Crackdown.
Fuck
I'm
you,
being
Piz.
honest. I'm being honest. I know I appreciate the game. Everyone says the game's good. But, yeah. All right, so I got another one from Orange is the New Orange on Twitter. Okay. Orange is the New Orange. So,
Solid username. Strong.
Orange is the New Orange. It's never left. A new VR game's coming out, but you get to design it. What VR game is it?
A new VR game is coming out and I get to design it.
Yeah.
What VR game is it?
Yeah. Well,
This is hard. They're already making VR Skyrim. But I don't know what I'd make.
I want to do it like a Milkman VR.
That would be kind of great, actually.
But no, what you're actually, remember Paperboy? You're actually the Paperboy from the old Paperboy game, but you're growing up now. You're a Milkman.
I want to do like Bear Grylls Simulator in VR.
Just the romance scenes from Mass Effect.
With all the unnecessary zippers that would go on in that bullshit. Oh, that was always the thing in like Mass Effect 1 and 2. They were like humping with clothes on, and with the fucking those suits, it's like, something's gonna get an unnecessary piercing. Oof.
Yeah, no, I'd still have to go Milkman. All right, so is anyone else in the live chat? If you have any more questions, we've got a few more on Facebook. All right, so this one's specifically for you, Steve. Rose asks, what's your favourite mood? Oh, what's your... Fucking learn how to read! What's your favourite mod?
Your favorite mood?
Oh, scroll faster.
I'm like depressed myself. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, depressed is nice. I like to just a nice, easy
Really
depression
anchors
with a cup of coffee. Yeah,
anchors you in the depression. And early morning. That's early morning depression.
I love it so much. I wake up every morning and I have my stream stats printed on a door just to make me feel bad, you know, because I love being sad, you know.
Like an unmotivational wake up, like you'll never amount to anything, just written there. You're like, oh, there we go. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's why we read the folder of my older brother's accomplishments every morning. Yeah.
That's my sister for me. She's fucking younger than me. It's bullshit.
What's your favourite mod?
What's my favorite mod
Yeah.
for Fallout?
It doesn't say.
Four?
It just says, what's your favourite mod? I assume Rose must have known what you were going to say.
My if we're talking about like specifically like in chat mods, is that what we're meaning? Because if
Are
we're
you sure
meaning
it's not-
just
Who's your favorite mod, Pez? Are you sure that's not the question?
Oh, okay. I
the
guess
favorite, my favorite mod is Little Miss Vixen.
I thought
And
you
she's
were
my
talking
favourite
about
Fallout 4
mods
mod.
earlier. Fuck.
No, see, she's a critical part of this mod that I'm making for Fallout 4 called Permadeath. If I didn't have Vix in the mod would break. It wouldn't work. So she really is a key part of the functionality.
Well, I thought it was a good question to ask when I thought it was
Dude,
new.
I knew that. I'm reading Vix in chat. Vix is like, who's your favorite mod, Kappa? It wasn't meant to be actually asked. Like, I could tell as well. I could tell as soon as you said that out loud, I was like, Vix will be fucking SMH. Fucking, you're not supposed to ask that question, you dumb shit.
Well, in my
Dibs, that was
stupid
like the other
defense,
day
I thought it
when
said
I was
nude.
on stream, Dibs. When I was on stream and you sent me that game code and I accidentally read out something I really shouldn't have. I fully Ron Burgundy today. I was just like,
dude.
blah, 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 blah. Keep talking. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Shame.
so my very first stream was on my very first channel. I decided to order pizza, and they go, "Yeah, I'll pay over the phone." I read out my fucking credit card details without realizing. That was good.
Genius.
Yeah,
While
I
you were
know.
on stream.
It's 2017. I'm still alive. All right. Dude. All right. Look, I think we're gonna finish it on this
I
one.
would say you're still alive specifically because it's 2017. Like if we didn't
No, I'm
have
surprised.
the
Yeah,
wonders
I
of
got
modern
here.
medicine around us, you would have, dude. If you were a caveman, you
If it
would
was
have made it as well.
if it was 1017, you'd be in
You'd
some
be
trouble.
gone,
I think I'd
Big
rule.
fucking-
I think I'd own it.
Oh, fuck.
All
Yeah,
right,
you'd be
okay. I
hit
think
on
we'll
the
end it
spikes.
on this one. This one's from Sleepy Boy. What's your favorite nude? And this is directed at all of us.
My favorite nude?
Your favorite nude.
Dibs wants to know when I'm bringing the bandana back.
Oh, we'll
Can I
ask
answer
his
that
question next.
I don't even know what my
Oh, okay.
favorite. What do you mean? What's your favorite nude? Like leak nudes? Like I don't.
Why
tend to
does
look
he
for
have to wait? Why does Dibs have to wait to
So we're
have his
asking-
question
I'm going to
answered?
ask Dibs' question next. We're talking about nudes.
Well, but I've just asked it, but I've just done it. Why do we have to wait till later? Are you, when we get to it later, are you going to pretend like I never asked about it? Are you going to go,
Okay, when you bring
okay,
your
we've got another question now
Steve,
from
when are you going to
Dibs?
bring your bandana back?
I mean, well, that's not, like, can you do the build-up? Do the build-up to the question.
So we've got a question in from Dibs GG. You Game Bro podcast.
So easily.
Yo, Steve,
Holy
when are you
shit.
bringing back the bandana?
Go fuck yourself, Dibs.
Okay, now we got a question back from Sleepy Boy. I want to know what everyone's
I don't know. I legitimately don't have an answer to that question.
Oh no, I'm gonna sound like a creep.
I
Wait,
really don't know. I don't look at celebrity nudes, so I don't fucking know. I don't have the mods in games that like let me see the fucking like anime schoolgirl titties in that game you were telling me about the other week, Pez.
what's
I don't do
oh,
that.
Persona. Oh, dude, I'll have sex.
Yeah, I
with
don't do that. So I really don't know. I don't think I have an answer.
I was gonna say we should all just say it like at the same time. But... Steve, like, you definitely have one.
Oh, all right.
Do you have one, Steve?
I don't know. It's tough to pick, isn't it?
So many. Hopefully for the audio listeners that we don't like, they're thinking they're sitting there looking at their car roof or their roof or whatever they're doing, thinking about it too. It's like, what is my favorite nude?
And there's just so many nudes, you know. I don't know. Just all of them.
Okay, you're stuck on an island with one nude. And God, you'd get over it after a day, wouldn't you?
I only have one nude.
Yeah.
It's just a still photo. That's all you've got.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
that's
it's
it.
one of
just
those ones that's like shimmery. When you move it left and right, it changes a little bit.
Can it be a GIF?
Sure.
I mean, that's kind of a gift.
You got an iPad with unlimited charge, but it's only got a GIF on it.
That's what GIFs were before they were GIFs. Were those stickers that like you did have to move them from side to side. That was early gift technology. Yeah, can I have one of those?
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be cosplay, whatever it is. There'd be some cosplay involved.
Yeah, I really don't know.
I can't have a nude be a full nude. I always need it to be like partially exciting with some cosplay. That's how I like my nudes.
Damn it.
You guys ever cosplayed before?
Yeah.
Nope.
What did you cosplay as? A fuckwit?
Such easy setup. Oh, that's cruel.
Thanks everybody for listening to episode 54 of the You Game Bro podcast. I've been your host as always, Pez, joined by Mr. Matty Mouse, and our lovely guest that makes me wonder why I do this every week.
Wait, that's not it, is it?
That is it.
Legitimately,
What?
yes.
Yeah, we're at the 2-hour mark.
Well, good night, guys.
Night, Steve.
Night, fellas.
I want to know the nerds, everybody, but
I don't have an answer. Like, I really don't. Like, it's such a stupid question. I don't have it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what kind of nude do you mean? Do you mean like a single photo? Do you mean like a leaked celebrity nude? Like a naked body? Like, my girlfriend's
Let's
just
go leaked.
Like, it feels like, Matty,
I want to say anyway.
Yeah, because, Matty, it feels like if you, like, reference a specific JPEG or something, like, oh, yeah, look.
That's way too intense, isn't it? Like, yeah. imgur.com/ like, you have the exact URL, like, this one. This is the answer. Like,
yeah.
I need to know.
Okay, people are losing their shit. They want to know the noodle question. I want to know nudes. Let's say celebrity leaks.
What's the noodle question?
Yeah. Trying. Okay.
Celebrity leaks. I'm not interested in celebrity leaks, mate. I don't want a leaked nude. I want my nude to be well orchestrated and well dressed. There's levels of production that I expect these days in a nude. You know, if I get a nude from a streamer and it doesn't have fucking sick lighting, I'm disappointed. If you just go into your bathroom, if you're a streamer and you go into your bathroom and just snap off a crude nude in the bathroom lighting with your camera, like, fuck you, dude. Go take 10 seconds, go into your stream room, turn your green screen on, turn your lights on,
right?
get some nice even light all over that sexy body of yours, snap off a nude, put a fancy background behind it, and fucking send me that. I know you've got the equipment. Your lazy-ass bathroom nude, when I know what kind of production you can bring to a nude, offends me.
Okay, you get the noodle question. We're going to go to bed because it's fucking late and it's early for you and you got to go to work. Streaming.
No, I gotta go to bed.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So, final question is noodles, cup of noodles. You're quite aware of noodles?
Sorry, was that the question?
Yeah, no. I'm leading to that. You know cup of noodles? You're aware of what cup of noodles are?
I know what cup of haka is.
Cup of haka. Okay, it's okay. So cup of noodles. So there's only there's a few ways to do them. You know, like take me through the steps. Okay, you got a nice cup of haka there or noodles, whatever. Take me through the steps on how you make your cup of haka or noodles or whatever. I don't even know what the fucking cup of haka is.
I mean, somebody clip that, get it to stuff.co.nz. Australian broadcaster doesn't know what fucking cup of haka is.
I don't know what cup
front
of haka.
Front page, every news outlet in New Zealand. They'll do it just for the trigger warning and the headline.
Fuck
You
I don't
Game
know
Bro
what your haka is.
podcast,
It's a
massive
stupid name.
publicity. There'll be so many freaking blogs. This guy doesn't know what cup of haka is. Some fucking... I mean, it's just Pez, but they won't care. They won't even read the article. Stuff will go, holy shit, we can write Australian broadcaster says, in quotes, don't know what the fuck cup of haka is, right? They'll put that, and then your podcast, you'll get so many clicks, you'll get so many people checking your shit out just because you were being offensive. Dude, it's going to be a massive publicity boost. Let's go.
Can you
Australian
just answer
streamer.
the fucking question? Wait, how do you...
No.
What?
Because first of all, publicity. Secondly, dude, really offensive on the cup of haka front there, dude. I mean, that's the second most important thing.
Fuck is a cup
really
of haka? Now I
offensive.
gotta Google it. I gotta give him the noodle question so I can go to bed.
Who's Maddie talking to? Is he just playing
he's talking to
a replay?
Kira.
Oh, okay. Hey, what's up, Kira? Han, how much longer is this fucking podcast going to go for?
They want to... Okay, Kappa Haka. Okay, so, Kappa Haka cover noodles. All right, can you explain to me how, from pulling out a cupboard to getting it in your mouth, how you do it?
Okay, first of all, Vix, that's not how you spell it, okay? It's literally not a cup of haka. It's not a cup of haka. Oh my god, Ben. Oh my god.
Oh, Kappa Haka.
It's not Kappa.
I'm gonna have to end this if I don't...
It's not Kappa haka. Oh my god, but that's a whole thing. Fid, we've got to make Kappa haka, okay? Find a beautiful Kappa haka video and just change everyone's face to Kappa and do Kappa haka. Do it. Do it today.
All right. I'm ending it. I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to bed. All right.
Oh,
All right.
I'm gonna miss you guys. I'm gonna miss you guys. I'm gonna be honestly. I'm like rock hard with nothing to do right now.
Oh well, you get to sleep.
Someone else start a stream.
So look, I'm wrapping it up. Episode 54, You Game Bro Podcast. We've got a big announcement next week.
Yo, is anyone in here about to stream? Can I come in on your Discord and keep talking to you?
I'll send them there. Well, I'm gonna send everybody over to Nazy. She's streaming creative. No, she's streaming Overwatch. I'm going to send everyone over there. But once again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Steve, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, Vix is about to stream.
Okay, I'll send him to Vix.
Why don't we wait?
Steve,
well, let's wait till Vix...
just appreciate coming on the show so I can fucking end it.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve.
I never answered your noodle question. What was the question?
Thanks for listening, guys.
There's a cup of noodles.
Peace.
I've got to decide how many noodles are in the cup. Is that what it is?
No. Do you have water in your noodles when you eat them or not? Do you tip the water out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That's all you had to say. So you tip the water out when you put the water in, cook them, and then tip the water out.
Yeah.
Done, see? I told you I was right. Suck it. Alright, I'll see you guys later.
That was it.
That was, yeah, but you ruined it. We're talking about haka, cups and shit. Like, I don't know what the fuck that was about. Alright, okay, guys. I'm going to wrap it. I'll talk to you later. I'm going to send everyone over to Nazy. Matty's gone. You broke the stream. You broke the stream. Oh my god.
You guys are too much.
No. We're just the right amount. We're just the right amount. Alright, we're done. I gotta say, you broke Matty.